Work?
Let's see.
Everything worked?
I don't know. We're gonna find out here in a second. Got hold on. I see a thing that says live in the dashboard. We'll see here. Fingers crossed. Hold on, let me cross all my fingers. Can I still do this?
Maybe these are just the follicles of good luck.
There we go. That's all the crossing I can do, guys.
I can't. Are you kidding? I'm like so freaking old and gnarled. I don't think I could do it if I wanted to. We were doing magic tricks on Tech Bandits this week, and I was like, I don't think my hands move that fast.
Ooh, magic tricks.
That's part of the trick. Right?
Yeah. We had Randy the Magic Man came on and taught us some magic tricks. It's kind of cool. The kids were really into it.
Dude, I'm a little bit of a magic aficionado myself. I can't do any of it, but I love watching it. Like when I went to Las Vegas, I'd go walk up and down the old strip and just watch people doing close-up magic.
Well, this guy was great. Stuff. This guy's he's called Randy the Magic Man, and he's got like you can actually do Zoom. You can go and like learn tricks from him on Zoom. And he was just I guess he watched Stargate and said, "I'll come by." And he actually offered to show me a trick, and I was like, "Sure, you can show me a trick in front of the bandits for 2 hours."
Hey, that's clever though. That's good.
But no, he was amazing. He also does these mental trick things. Like you have to get him to talk about it sometimes.
Oh, mentalism is crazy, man. Where basically they lead you to give an answer, but you think you're giving it freely.
That's it.
That stuff's creepy.
But also just things like how to remember things. Like he talks about what does he call it? The threshold trick, where you walk into a room and you see the things you want to remember in the room. Mm-hmm. And like when I put my glasses down, he was teaching me, you got to like pretend like whenever you put your glasses down, you go like, oh my God, the glasses are so hot. They're on fire. They're catching the cabinet on fire. Oh my God, it's spread to the curtains and the trees and the whatever. And that'll help you remember where you put your glasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I do it with horsehair worms instead.
Ooh, gross.
Because they're the creepiest things I've ever seen.
What the hell's a horse? What?
Oh my God, they're the most revolting things you've ever seen. One of my Tech Bandits found it for me, sent me a video. They're these worms that move from like mayflies to crickets. So the mayflies get eaten by the crickets. The crickets then consume these little things and they grow inside them until they're worms like this long.
What?
All twisted up inside a little cricket, and then they come out of its butt.
That's horrible.
And they'll like mate. There'll be like sometimes more of them, more than just one, and they'll mate on the way out of this poor cricket's, butt.
They're just having an orgy, and they're just everybody's invited, huh? Oh my God!
It's like a freaking nightmare. Like I've literally had nightmares about it since.
God.
Ew.
Yeah. So that's when I put my glasses down. I go, oh, look, they're crawling with horsehair worms. And I will never forget that image. And I'll know where I put my glasses.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, no, you were talking about before that grotesque, gross. Before we went off on worm orgies inside of crickets, for those of you just joining us.
You twist my words, Barnacules.
I do a little bit. Just a smidge. I mean, for the audience, right? I was watching a show on like memory. Like how these people that are like these world-class memory guys, like they have competitions where they like they just take cards and show them to them, and they can memorize like 1,000 cards in order.
Yeah,
and you're like, how in the hell do they do that? And one of the guys like gives up his secret, and he's like, all I do is I associate every single thing I see with another element in a short story in my head, and then I just recall the story. So he'll do stuff like they'll pull up a card and it'll be like the Ace of Spades or something. And he'll say, oh, I was in the garden using my spade. And then the next card comes up, it'll be like a King of Hearts. And it's like, and a king snuck up on me. So I struck him with my spade. And he'll connect each one with the previous one by saying like he hit the king with the spade. And then if a queen comes along, then the king married the queen. And then if a 5 of, diamonds comes along or whatever, it's like I bought 5 diamonds for the queen. And he basically creates a story in his head. And that's how he's able to recall it, because he can go back, and because the story like phonetically fits together and he's saying it in his head, he can go back and like recall the story at any point and remember the items. And it actually does work. The dirtier
the story, the better.
Exactly. You're like, oh yeah, the king and the queen had an orgy, and the 5 of diamonds got stuck in his eyes, made him bleed out. The Dexter memory edition.
I'll never forget that.
Oh my God, we're gonna come back in like 20 years and you're still gonna have that like on deck. Be like, oh God, I couldn't forget it. I tried so hard. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, welcome
Man.
everybody to Tech Talk. It is another
All right.
beautiful
Yeah. Hi,
Saturday.
everyone.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, yeah,
there's
we've been
people
live.
here.
Yeah, we've been live
What?
for about
Shit.
5 minutes.
You should totally not. Yeah. You should totally not worry about the fact that there's an audience.
I should probably send out the stream here because I totally forgot.
I
to do
tweeted. I've already tweeted.
that. You did. Oh, you beat us to the punch. Holy shit, David is
Dude,
on it
I
today.
had the best morning because my son and I went off and we got A&W breakfast sandwiches. And because my wife was out with a friend walking the dog. And so we went and got breakfast sandwiches and we came back and we watched Command Zone. It's
Never heard of it.
I'm really nerding out now. This is Magic the Gathering. So it's game nights. And we love watching these guys. They do the best. Talk about a really well done podcast, Barnacles. Barnacules, sorry. I like Barnacles for some reason. Barnacules, whatever.
Hey, David, you can call me whatever you want, baby.
I
Whatever
know
you
it.
want.
I'll never get it right. Yeah, so they play Magic the Gathering. And the guy they had on this week is this like football player, like this massive, freaking scary, full-on tattooed guy. And he loves Magic the Gathering so much he spent his millions of dollars on setting up he now runs a card trading company. He basically sells the cards now, but we just love watching these guys play. It's great. Yeah.
That would just be so funny, like walking into a shop that's like a nerd, like comic / collecting cards, and some guy named Biff walks over the counter. Hey, what are you doing? I got the new cards in this week, and you're like, oh my god.
Whoa.
But like he breaks every single stereotype. The guy's like a full-on nerd, but he's also like just a freaking like he would kill you with a look.
Whoa.
$150 from Bazinga X.
What?
Thank you
Bazinga
very
just
much.
like straight up
Holy
went
cow.
full own the strip club on us.
Damn, son.
Went full bazinga.
Damn, I hear about this.
Bazinga X just dropped 150 super chat and said, "Do not show that kid dancing again, or I will
What
need years
kid?
of therapy."
What kid dancing? What
What
are you
kid?
talking about?
Oh, I think he's
Like
talking
now.
about my son, maybe when he was playing the video game, or what? Hey,
That's rude.
Bazinga.
If that's the case, that's hecka rude.
Bazinga. What are you specifically referencing? Because I honestly, my brain is still booting up. Hey, Fatal Air, thank you for that $5 super chat. He said, "I'm watching you, sexy beast, in VR." Oh, dude, awesome. Are you in a Quest 2?
We're in VR.
Yeah, you can watch us in VR, like literally on a Quest 2, or actually any headset, really. So yeah,
Do you want to? That's the question.
Whoa! Actually, watching video in VR is badass. Like these
Is
are
it?
things people don't think about, like when they get a VR headset, especially a wireless one where you can take it anywhere.
Oh.
It's like you can kick back in bed and you're like sitting in a giant movie theater with the depth perception, and the screen actually feels like it's the distance away from you, and you can actually watch the movie and sit back, and you got the spatial audio so you can turn your head and it's always coming from the direction it's supposed to be. It's badass.
Yeah.
And especially if you feel claustrophobic, because you can just like literally, like if you're in a small space, even like in an airplane, you put this thing on, you feel like you're in a freaking gymnasium.
I like that idea though. I mean, like the idea of being able to just put on goggles instead of goggles. I sound so freaking old. You put on the googles. Because I am. It's true. Yeah. Look at me. Look at you, for God's sake. There's no VR is going to save you. But the idea of like not having to have giant monitors taking up the whole. Imagine like walking into just like basically a room full of junk like we're used to, and then just having put on the thing and you've got your monitors all set up.
Dude, Virtual Desktop does that now. There's a program called Virtual Desktop for $20.
Yeah.
Have you tried it, David?
I've actually saw an ad for it. It's what made me want to buy the Quest 2.
Yeah, the Quest 2 has high enough resolution that it's actually completely usable. Like you can go in and create like 5 or 6 or 8 screens, put them anywhere you want, and sit in front of a virtual desk. And it's like you're looking at all these giant screens. You can move the mouse cursor between them and everything, and the computer's driving it. It's really, really cool.
Here's the problem: is I have to get 2 of them though, right? Because I have to get one. I can't have one. If I have one, then I'll never see it because Baz will take it. So I need to basically get 2 of them so that I can at least kick his ass in a couple of games or something.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be playing mostly games on like PC VR, just get the $299 one, the 64 gig version, because then you got enough room to put Virtual Desktop. You got enough room to put 1 or 2 games that you want to play on the move, like where you don't have a computer, and then the rest of them either play through USB cable or Virtual Desktop wireless.
So as long as you've got them plugged into the PC, it doesn't matter that you don't have a lot of memory in the thing.
Right.
And
And it lets you play everything. You can play your Steam
add
library.
memory yourself?
No,
you can't add memory.
No, I mean, not unless you're really good with like a soldering iron and tearing things apart and void warranties.
I've done a couple of solderings in my life.
I'd imagine you probably could. I mean,
Hey.
I've seen. What's that?
There was a dude who upgraded the memory on a 3070. He unsoldered the little memory chips and upgraded it to 12 gigs, I think.
That is a brave man.
Yeah. But I mean, if you know what you're doing, electron pushers like that are fascinating. I've seen guys, taking. There's actually a fella just up the road from where the office is for the company I work for, and that's what he does. That's like kind of his thing, is repairing electronics down to the chip level like that. Like you bring him a buddy of mine brought him a graphics card a couple years back because like one of the little doodads had come popping off of it.
You've blown a capacitor or something.
And for like $20, the dude just soldered in a new widget onto the thing, and boom, it's a brand new video card.
That's what those are the kind of skills I've always wanted.
Well,
I've always wanted to be able to look at it
from Strange Parts.
Scotty, it's at Strange Parts, of course. That's
Yeah, he upgrades all the iPhones to freaking massive memory. I think he made one that had like a terabyte in it or something. Like
that's
cool. And
cool,
he was doing those. He was doing those like the tiny chip soldering as well, right? Where they're using the paste and stuff.
It's like tiny stuff. I love seeing there's videos on Instagram and stuff every once in a while.
To do that stuff, you need like the little, what do they call it, the solder wick or the solder vacuum sucker or whatever, and then you have to put the paste on there, and then it makes the solder just go in the holes with the metal, and then everything else it doesn't bond to.
Yeah, you can.
And a lot of that's automated too now.
Tiny little clippy. You can tell that the stuff is like less than a quarter inch. These tiny little chips and stuff, and they rub away the solder with the little tiny alcohol swab, and they go. And then they put the thing back on there. Yeah,
like Louis Rossman, where he has like the magnifying glass, and you see him like, man, you gotta have like surgical hands to do that. Hey, Bazinga,
so cool.
Bazinga cleared it up. He said, "Don't show that kid dancing again." It was from my Twitch stream yesterday, where I showed a deep fake of my face on Chunk from the Goonies doing the truffle shuffle.
I need to see this.
He's just giving us good money to not show it.
I know, which
it's literally bad. It's so bad.
Should see this. Despite
here, let me set the stage for people that haven't seen it. First, you'll have to go to my Twitter if you want to see it. It's up on my Twitter.
Easy.
But I can tell you right now, my best description of it verbally would be Ron Jeremy at 13 years old after hormone therapy.
Oh, God.
Like literally, that's what it looks like. Like Chunk, like when you merge Chunk's face with my face in the Goonies, it literally is like it's like a 13-year-old Ron Jeremy that had like too much testosterone.
All right, here we go.
It's pretty wild.
This is all a shameless ploy to get us all to follow Barnacules.
It is actually.
I gotta see this.
Don't be giving up my secrets, bro. That's like shit. Nobody else be doing that. Here, I want to see. Here, can I put it up on the screen? Actually, here, let me see.
Where are you? He just paid you not to.
Well, I know, but
hey,
you got to do what you got to do.
We are not beholden to.
I don't see it. Is it?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on your Twitter, Jerry.
Dude, you suck at Twitter.
Twitter.
What's going on?
You don't see it on my Twitter? What?
Was it like a fleet or something?
I'm just gonna play it on stream here. Let me figure out how to add my monitor.
Bazinga, turn away. Close your eyes.
Close your ears.
Here,
close your eyes. We've got
close your
things
eyes
to see.
So, I can add a VLC video source. Wait, what?
What? There was a huge earthquake in Japan. What?
Wait, when did that happen?
Like literally a few minutes ago. Oh man.
That's no bueno. That is very, very no bueno indeed.
Hey man, it happens. Man.
Was it a big one, or like was it just like?
God, it's like, could you imagine? Like you're just getting through the freaking pandemic, and then you get hit by a freaking earthquake.
Oh, that would suck.
No, that was just someone just said that. I don't know if that's actually. Although earthquake Japan's the first thing that pops up. Magnitude 7. Holy.
Damn.
All right, I think I got it on deck. I think you guys ready to see this abomination of a deepfake?
Yes.
pull up the YouTube stream so you guys can see it.
YouTube.
Because you won't see it on OBS Ninja.
I'm trying to find it. Okay.
Let's
God. All right, here we go. All right, I'm ready.
All right, you guys got it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do transition.
Speaking about things that we'll never get out of our minds again. Oh, weird.
Come on, YouTube, catch up.
Oh my God, it actually almost.
Wow. Do it.
Oh my God.
Come on.
It's so bad. I love it though.
But there's something really creepily real about it.
It is.
Like
that's the thing with deepfake.
It's the mustache becomes like a little fuzz, like he really is, like a little older than he looks.
Yeah,
like he's got that preteen mustache thing happening.
Totally.
Not that no, I mean not. I'm not casting what is it aspersions on your manly mustache, but
like very quickly. Like this is like 100 passes or something. This is fast. This was done very, very quickly.
Surprisingly, that took 15 hours to render.
No.
What?
Yeah.
No
On
way.
what?
Yeah, what cheese? Not to be rude. I'm not
do it
trying
on
to
an
be
app.
asshole,
It was
but, like,
using it was using face swap on GitHub, and it did like 130 some thousand iterations trained from one of my YouTube videos.
Okay. Because, like,
Well, how are the apps able to do them so fast?
See, the thing is, there's a difference between face swap and deepfake. Face swap is literally just like outlining your face and then stretching it onto another person's face.
Okay.
Whereas deepfake is actually going through and looking at all the frames and training itself to figure out how to create a model to morph one picture to another, and then fixing it to like a 3D representation of the other face. So it's like creating a model with the lighting and everything. So if they to do a really good deepfake, you need to like take pictures of like lighting coming from all directions, up, down, so that it gets all the contour and shadowing on your face, and then the AI will train all that light coming in and then match it up to the light in the video that you're putting your face onto.
Yep.
And it'll even line up like the eyes perfectly and the mouth and the nose. It's flawless. So it's still like your teeth, their face, you know, your eyes.
What would happen if I
face.
did it to existing footage of myself? Like, what if I took like a Stargate clip and then deepfaked?
Deepfake
Sounds horrible. So I was out last night. Anyways,
I was.
It'd make you look younger. It would just make you look younger. That's it.
Especially on your own face, it would be perfect. Like you probably wouldn't be. It'd be better than like the de-aging they did in that the Irishman. Right?
Yeah,
that's terrible. Which was freaking awful. Take you out of the movie bad. Someone should tell Grandpa Director that is not brilliant.
Because they didn't. That was something else too. The de-aging they did there was more of like a Photoshop, like real time photoshopping, where they just kind of like smooth them out a bit using older footage from when they were younger and stuff. But the deep faking is takes longer. It just takes longer.
That stuff was like that. That was like, I was like, that looks like something that someone's going like, wow, that's amazing. Who's never seen deep fakes before.
Right. Yeah. The best deep fakes I've seen so far are the ones where the people look a lot like the actors they're deep faking. Like the Tom Cruise guy, there's a guy who just does Tom Cruise.
That's insane.
And on a cell phone, you can't tell. If you blow it up full screen, you can go, oh, there's something a little bit weird about the smoothing. But on a cell phone screen, no, it is dead nuts.
Is he the one doing the TikTok?
Yeah.
The fake? Yeah.
And so like Jerry was saying, on a smaller screen, you can't tell, but it would take like a week or more. And I'm talking straight, like or some heavy GPU compute stuff to do a really good job. There have been a few out there. There's like there's a few Trump videos that are like near 100% because they took so long and there's so much good source footage to start with.
Well, and he'll be using them in court soon, I'm sure. Anyway.
Well, you can still tell, like it's the lighting. It's always the lighting that isn't quite right. It's so hard to get it right.
It's the uncanny valley thing where it's like if the human eye is like super discriminating subconsciously. So it's like you can look at something where you are 100% sure it looks right, and you're subconsciously your brain will still tell you there's just something wonky about this, like it's just not right.
And because we're built in like to the core to recognize faces, like that's why you'll see them in funny, like in the paint on the wall, right? You'll see eyeballs and a goofy face. Is your brain wants to see eyeballs, nose.
Do you see them now, Ox? Are you seeing the faces now?
Well, it's just like the Avengers movies, right? Remember they digitally did the white suits that they're wearing in the movie when they're time traveling. Every single frame you see in like half the movie in the white suits.
That's all I would never have known that.
Yeah, I never would have either.
In Iron Man 2, I think it was, the director, I remember seeing a behind the scenes thing. Director's watching on like a monitor some scene, watching it back, and he goes, the suit isn't right, like that's too fake, it's weird and shiny, it doesn't look right, it's fake, like you guys got to work on your CG. And they're like, that's the real suit. Like that's the one he was actually wearing.
That looks like crap because it's real.
And the thing is, since it's not a face, we don't question it. It's the faces specifically that humans just have. Like we pick up on subtle emotions. What do they call them? Like micro emotions or micro expressions. Where it's like you can look at somebody and it doesn't look like anything really changed. Like literally your eyelid can move like a millimeter. And another person can pick up on that. They can pick up on that, like what you're feeling that caused that tiniest little change in your face. So
have we had the meta human thing on Have we talked about that on
the Unreal?
Yeah,
the Unreal
yeah.
Engine's metahumans, they are creepy, man.
Man, we
Like,
should
there's just
put that
off.
on as the topic. If you guys haven't seen this, this is amazing. This is the next step in like digital.
This is going to put me out of work, basically,
for sure.
But I think it should, because I believe, like, in the sorry, Ox,
no, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's just it's still uncanny, it's still fake, but this is hands down the best fake people we've been able to create yet.
Yeah,
and it's mind blowing. Like the and especially when you tie it in, they're starting to do these. I can't remember. I think it's Vive has this thing it's like attaches to the VR face thing, and it looks at your mouth
tracker. Yep, it's only like $100 too. It's like it's totally affordable. No, you know what actually beats Unreal? Not for 3D, just for like a deep fake type scenarios. Have you seen thispersondoesnotexist.com?
Yeah.
So I'll put in the link so you guys can go look at it here. This is insane technology.
This is where they mix little bits of everybody together into
exactly.
Sort of.
They literally take like a whole bunch of pictures and like randomize them, but then stitch them together using an AI so that the proportions are correct and the spacing is correct.
Right.
And it looks like real people. Every once in a while you get one that's a little weird when you hit refresh, but you hit refresh and every single person that you're looking at in these photos is actually a digital like amalgamation of multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's brilliant about this is that it takes one of the most expensive and unreliable parts of like filmmaking out of the process, right? Like all of a sudden it's like when you want 50 people to show up on set for a background performance stuff, and invariably you have to invite 150 for 50 to show up.
Yeah.
You could actually just add them later.
Well,
and you don't have to pay any residuals. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, like the backgrounds and stadiums and stuff. Just fill them all in with just randos.
They kind of did that with Lord of the Rings back in the day. They only modeled a few orcs for like some of those big battle scenes.
Right.
They're like the front row is like real people. It's maybe 50 or whatever. But then everybody behind them. And then those high aerial shots it's all fake. And what's cool about that is like the battles aren't hand animated. It's all part of the AI program. The battle scenes and stuff. They
got like a combat engine.
Yeah. It's so cool. Man, the stuff, the AI stuff is just freaking blowing my mind. It's so cool.
Well, and think about it I just keep thinking from a storytelling standpoint, the idea of like going like, if you take away all of those barriers of entry, if you just have software, you go like, okay, so I want to have like two people having an argument about this, and then that starts a fight, and then there's a car chase. Like you could literally start just like pulling these things in and having them auto-generated for you. And all of a sudden filmmaking is as easy as like desktop publishing, right? I mean, as it is, I remember people saying like when desktop publishing first happened, because I'm that freaking old, they're like, oh, like what now everyone's gonna write a novel. And I was like, well, it's not just the tools that were stopping people from doing that. It's also the fact that it takes a lot of time and some talent.
Yeah, right.
But the idea that anyone could be a filmmaker now, that is, that's going to definitely, reducing the barrier to entry on that is would be amazing. Especially
with this metahuman thing, one person could potentially be everyone in the film. Like, if you present it, hey, I'm making.
That's why I like
a CG movie. Like, I'm gonna, you don't put it out there as like, oh, I'm live action, but one person could like that Final Fantasy movie, right? Back in 2002 or something. That was amazing. Then this is like miles ahead of that.
My joke about that was that it was all like really, really bad daytime soap acting. It's like, well done. You've digitally created bad actors.
That's where it starts, though, right?
But that's fine. Yeah, technology
some of those
always
soaps
gets better.
have been around 60 years or something. It's crazy.
Always gets better.
It's so cool. You'll totally see where it'll all be. The voice, the face, everything will be digital.
Well, and think about casting. Like, think about the idea that, okay, when you hire someone to be like a superhero, you hire Superman, the guy to play Superman, or the wherever you go with it. And all of a sudden you're like, well, we need to appeal to the Asian populations, and Black Panther did really well, so maybe we could do some kind of. You're creating these these digital versions of exactly the marketing materials you want all together. And also you don't have to worry about them getting drunk and hitting on like a 13-year-old or something at a bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no, and you've got billions of dollars riding on these people because they are the face of your multi-billion dollar thing. If I was a studio right now, I'd be pouring money into this and getting rid of as many actors as I possibly could.
Unfortunately, I think that's probably not too far off from what's happening.
And not just that, though, and I've mentioned this in previous streams, is you'll as a person will need to protect your yourself, your vision, your likeness. That's the word, likeness. Like, because who's to say somebody doesn't make a fake Tom Cruise and decide to make, a rival Mission Impossible movie.
Right.
Or, something different, obviously, but like, hey, I'm going to steal Tom Cruise's face. Ha ha ha. What do you do?
With Tom Cruise with an H.
Yeah, and simulate his voice because you got voice synthesis now.
Yeah.
So you can totally
Mission
create
Possible.
It's weird, and actually, that might be a good segue into
you know what I think happened is we're literally going to have VTubers mixed with the people that are doing the marionettes on the 3D models, mixed with like Unreal creating these like real time 3D representations with AI building face swap. And you're basically going to eventually have like a real-time rigging where somebody can just run around the room with some trackers on their body from their VR headset or whatever, or put on their VR headset and run around and physically look like that person in real life, running around on the screen and doing stuff. But this is what scares me the most about this technology, though, is for content creators and celebrities. We have so much content online of our faces and different lighting conditions and the way we move and the way we talk. And so training this AI, it's going to be a matter of time before there's an app like on your iPhone where you just point it at a Facebook profile and you say, put this face on this person in this porno that I downloaded from this site or whatever, and it just
well, that's already there, right? Isn't that where the whole deepfake thing first really
it kind of
always?
Yeah, but you still have to do it. You still have to do the training, and it still takes somebody that knows what they're doing. And it takes a long time, a lot of processing power, a lot of electrons. But I think it's eventually going to get to the point where it's like your phone in your pocket has a powerful enough GPU, or it works with a cloud, and it just does this instantly.
You could have like a 24-hour news anchor who's just different people depending on what time to do the behind the scenes stuff.
Have you guys seen this app? It's wombo.ai. It's an app. It's pretty bad, but it does basically that. It'll take a still frame, and then animates you singing a song from the It's
make your selfies sing.
The eyes are top notch. They've got the eye, like they'll roll your eyes around and looking back and forth, and that's pretty good. The mouth, it's real bad.
That's weird. I would have thought the eyes would have been harder.
It's because it's just kind of you looking back and forth. It's pretty easy to just interpolate that, I guess, but the mouth, the stretching of the mouth, you can kind of tell. I've
even
seen
doing like the movements and stuff to the music, like
they're. I can see where they're going, how they're doing this. There's somewhere in their cloud, of course, because it uploads the image and processes it and then sends you back a little 30-second clip. You can see where there's an invisible mannequin or some sort of skeletal framework.
It's like a 3D form behind there.
They're wrapping your picture onto this model that has like, kind of almost an exaggerated mouth and like obviously some sort of orbs to wrap the texture of your eyes onto and things like that.
So it's like a generalization right now.
Yeah, because you can see where sometimes it wants to move your head a certain way, and you can see the edge of the model essentially, and things like that. But it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And
excuse me, your avatar is showing.
Right?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Stuff like that, little things, and that's easy peasy. It takes 30 seconds or something. You can tell when they're bogged down because like it'll take a minute or two for them to get the video back to you. But
it was that old guy who was motorcycling around the world or something, and he was like, no one wants to see an old guy motorcycling around the world, so he has like a filter thing that changes him into a
little Asian girl. I saw that kind of thing. There's been a few streamers, same deal. Like this one gal, some Asian streamer. Got real big and because she's pretty and blah blah blah, and like one time on stream like just moved wrong and it like and her normal face shows up and like
and like nobody knew. It was pretty convincing.
It had been her. Yeah, it had been a thing because like if you just sit still enough and you're talking, like it's no big deal. It's easy. If you're not moving, you can.
Oh my god,
The
dude.
face
That
swapping
is
stuff
so weird. Like there's so many possibilities here.
Dude, could you imagine you're sitting there watching like some like VTuber on some like adult website, and you're like, oh man, I'm getting into this, and then it just like blinks and it malfunctions. It's like some dude, hairy dude with like a big old beard, like, hey, oh yeah,
hey,
you
man,
really feeling that, dude? Oh, you're like, then it flips back and it's like the beautiful woman again. You're like,
you're like,
what the fuck
that's
happened?
not unreasonable. That
No, Barnacules, I could not imagine that.
You're missing out, bro. You're missing out.
It's a trip. It's a trip. And I think so, like, because of all of this, you do have companies who are working on detecting it, like Adobe in particular, because they're really kind of on part of the forefront of a lot of this fakery and Photoshop and After Effects and stuff. And they do have a tool. I don't know if they've publicized it. I know they've talked about it, so I can say this, or at least for detecting photoshopped images. You basically, it's like a reverse Photoshop. You give them a picture and they come back and say, yep, this is, you can see, we know from because the Sensei stuff does this, we can reverse engineer our own AI stuff, and it'll show you like what tool was used in like different colors and stuff. Like, oh yeah, they used a blur tool here, they used this badage here, and it'll show you what they did to edit the video. But
Right.
I think honestly, this is a good, I think, segue into the deepfakes, but on into the NFT thing, because I feel like how else are you going to prove yourself?
There
how
you
else
go.
are you going to identify that I'm me?
Yeah.
Or that like this content was created by me.
Yeah,
like,
in a
if it
world
doesn't
where
have
you're
this
emulated, right? It's like
you have to have this digital signature, otherwise it's not real. It's not.
Well, I mean,
not
the idea for
official.
autographs and stuff too. I love that. I mean, and what the what is it? The NBA or whoever is doing? They're selling like clips now. You can you open a little like bag of trading cards, but they're digital trading cards and they're digital videos of whatever it is that you're getting.
Neat.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Look, I've been doing it for a while now because with like the kids are all into this because they do digital stuff all the time. They don't know the difference between stuff that's they don't see why wouldn't the things that they use on their games be of value, right?
Yeah,
so
digital things are
buying,
tangible to them. Like
they're buying skins for Fortnite. That's basically not an NFT, but it's a digital purchase that adults go like, what? You spend $50 on imaginary freaking costumes for,
Actually,
but
Baz
it's value to them.
So Baz said, remember when we thought Running Man was so fake with the face swapping, making Schwarzenegger say anything and do anything? Like in Running Man, that was like one of the premises. Like today we have the technology to do that. So if you were watching that movie today, you'd just be like, oh shit, my phone can do that. Like, how long before we're watching our great grandkids are watching Star Trek and they're like, oh, teleporters and food replicators? God, that's so antiquated. Like, that's dumb.
Or choose your actors. Like, what about like watching Star Trek and you get to choose who plays what?
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, you start it up. Yeah, you go through the menu, like the old DVD menus, and you're like, I want Kirk to be on the 1701D. And I think it'd be really cool if Riker was played by.
If it's played by her, it's amazing. Like,
you're like, get out of here, Frakes. I want Marina Sirtis to be number one. It's like you could do that.
And then you could actually buy. Oh my God, it'd be a great way of repurposing stuff too, right? Because you'd buy all of the old Star Treks. Yep. And then you could buy additional characters to play the different characters in it. So you could watch the show 50 times with different people playing the different roles.
Even weirder.
That's
what if you put yourself in the movie in real time? So you pull out your phone. It's like, pull out your phone now and open up the movie app, and you like select the character and you scan your face with the phone really quick or whatever, and then it just says processing. And then you watch the whole movie and you play a character through the whole movie.
The worst karaoke ever.
You could. There's no reason you couldn't actually be in the movie, like as almost a video game in a sense. Like think about how like a Call of Duty campaign works, right? You're in it. It's basically an action movie.
Yeah, you're basically the action sequence of a movie.
You get to play around in the shooting scenes, and then the cut scenes you're kind of hands off. But like eventually, and not that far off, honestly, the VR, a campaign mode that's somewhat fluid, right? Because why not have branching narratives? You could have multiple endings to a virtual movie that you are playing the main character as, and heck, even
the problem is someone's got
multiplayer.
to write all of those. That's where the film industry struggles with that stuff,
They
right?
do it for video games all the time. Why
That's
not?
true. Yeah, it's true.
They have thousands of hours of fully voiced, fully modeled talk stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Skyrim's 12 years
you
old.
almost need like AI to figure this stuff out so that you have truly unlimited options as to what's going to happen.
And that's not unreasonable.
That's not far off now. Yeah, that's true.
Especially if you have if you could leverage more remote compute, really. I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult to make a somewhat believable, because you present it right, you set the right expectation, and they're not going to enough of the population understands how video games work that you can't do anything and everything you want. And so there's already a built-in expectation that, like, okay, I can only have so many dialogue choices, but you stretch that out enough, and yeah, you could have a reactive and fluid narrative where, like, oh, I punched this guy in the face. Well, there's a branch that can handle that. It can react appropriately with the
that's
fuzzy
sort of
logic
GTA,
stuff.
isn't it? I mean, isn't that sort of the idea of like these sandbox games where you can walk around doing whatever you want?
In a sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that are
framework.
triggered in the storyline that move forward that are like prefabbed, but yeah, it's like they have to build it in a way where there's dynamic nature, where stuff just happens, right? When somebody's just walking down the street and you bump into them, they're like, hey, what the fuck, bro, or whatever. It's like, that's a random interaction. They're like, oh, when somebody bumps into you, say one of these 20 things. Now imagine if it was dynamic, where those 20 things could be completely generated by an AI based on the time of day, the dice roll of the mood of the player,
personality of the guy.
Build a personality for everybody in real time as you encounter them in the game. It'd be wild, man.
It's a matter of massive variable, really, because like
I feel like it's almost not, you almost can't write it, because if you have to write it, I feel like it's never going to be satisfying. If there's a way of somehow having the AI figure out, like, start writing, it can write dialogue and stuff now. I mean,
it's like how they get what they call emergent gameplay in some of these sandbox games. You give the AI, you give I can't remember the right terms, but you give the model the tools, right? And it will build its own interactions in the same way that, like you said with GTA, there's a lot of tools in GTA that then the players use in weird ways to create a narrative. And as long as you just give them more and more flexible tools, you let the model play with them, and it'll evolve on its own.
And you could if you give the AI a bunch of different interactions with people, just do millions and millions and millions of different interactions that different things happen. Like, you could literally just like send in all of every single soap opera that's ever happened, and you could probably it's going to start seeing links between, oh, someone said that word and that usually leads to this and this. Like, actually, yeah, that's a dynamic storytelling engine that would be amazing.
Yeah. And especially if
we could put writers out of work too.
Yeah, let's just fire everybody. Computers are going to just create all the entertainment.
There've been a few attempts at that sort of thing. There've been a couple scripts written via AI. There was one.
Oh, there's a website you can go to. Have you seen that, where you just start telling a story and it just finishes it?
AI Dungeon is really
cool.
Really?
Yeah,
they did it on Corridor. Corridor Digital did a video to it where they just had they wrote like the first 3 sentences of the story and named the characters, and then they hit enter, and then it just like slowly starts writing the rest of the story based on the first 3 lines that you wrote. And it just evolves into whatever it wants.
I love it.
Check out AI Dungeon.
I got it. I've just pulled it up.
It's a little clunky.
But the more we use it, the better it'll get, I'm guessing.
In a sense, kind of. I'm not sure what they're using like on the back end, because like
it's probably just people going like, what the fuck?
It comes back to the natural language processing is weird. So if you treat it like you would like an old Zork game, where you kind of give it encourages you to use very complex inputs, like, oh, I want to kick that guy in the shin and then bite his ear off, but it gets a little weird. It's gotten way better since I first started playing with it. And
its response is like, but what do you really want?
Well, what troubles me with it is it doesn't remember a lot of events, and so you can kind of get caught in these weird loops, or like oh, I want to kill this bandit. Oh, you kill the bandit and stab him in the face, but then it's like, oh, but then okay, let's continue down the trail. Well, now you've run into more bandit, or it's like the bandits are back, or it gets really weird. It's good though.
It's interesting because there's Jim Nevo was just saying that there's a lot of AI generated text out there that we don't even know about. You think about it, a lot of the bot stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of, especially with the Trump stuff, and there's the troll bots that are just out there going like looking for specific things.
Yep.
And then just spewing hate.
Dude, how crazy would it be? How crazy would it be if QAnon was like completely gathered by like an AI that just was started as a joke? Like some dude just went in and like typed in like, and Lord Xenu came down on the earth and laser beams fired into the woods and then just hit enter.
It's Barnacules.
Yeah, it literally just created like an entire like cult around like some AI joke. Dude, imagine if you did that in like video game. That's the one thing I do worry about though, is if you train the AI off of, public information, like the internet, right? You're going to have a problem like Microsoft Tay did, right? You're basically going to have the word, because the internet, there's so many trolls that your AI is inevitably going to get overwhelmed or targeted by people trying to train it to be a total jerk. And you're going to be playing your game. Yeah.
Japan.
The problem with something like Tay is it was so wide open. They didn't set any boundaries.
In Japan, right?
That is true.
Wasn't it tested originally in Japan? And Japan's culture is much more like it's much more more about politeness and deference, and there's a very specific sort of rules of engagement, if that makes sense, for conversations in Japan. So they're like, this is great, let's release it in North America, where everyone's like, no, fuck you, for no reason at all.
Dude, it got so bad in like 24 hours Microsoft Tay was like literally seeking out and messaging Jewish people, like pretending to be a Nazi. In 24 hours, that's what it evolved to.
That's the problem though, is because you got to remember, like when you put something out there like that, it's like a child.
It is.
Right?
It is.
It's just a clay ball, and when you don't set any boundaries, then it's just going to gravitate to whatever it sees the most. Yeah. Right. The input that it gets the most. But if they had taken the original test model from Japan and kept that as a framework, as like the base core personality for this thing, it wouldn't have allowed, that's not me. I'm not going to go down that path because that's not who I am. And then it would have kept more of that personality. But what they did was they just left a blank clay ball out there for everybody to play with. And of course, the mass of info that it was being trained on turned it into a monster. If it had started with a mold that it wouldn't, some sort of core personality, a parenting.
Oh my God! If it was parented properly, oh God! I mean,
could you imagine, like
in a literal way, though? That's
the problem with both in the real world and in the AI world.
True. Could you imagine like redoing Terminator 2 or like the Terminator franchise, but with like Microsoft Tay is like how Skynet rose? Like Terminator just like comes out of the ball, where he's like, simp incels die, ha, noobs. Your mother's butt. Pew, 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 pew,
that's the core of a lot of those.
That'd be pretty funny. Like somebody do that.
AI overlord sort of thing. Like in Ultron, right? He gets onto the internet and sees, okay, I was created for peace, but then he sees, okay, what is peace? What does that mean? Sees all these images and stuff, and then peace, right, comes from war. And then he sees all the war information and comes to the same with Skynet.
Yeah, war comes from humans, must kill humans. Yeah,
right. But again, that's because it was such a blank model, a clay ball that wasn't with a proper framework. If they had an opportunity to train in a clean room, essentially in a vacuum first, and say, hey, this is the model that we want you to stay within. Yeah, they could have taken that war input and said, like, that's not the way to go. We can do let's try something different. Like this, we recognize that human beings are warlike creatures and we fight and we're xenophobic and stuff, but that's not how we want to be. Let's try and find solutions that go down a different path.
It's like social media focusing on engagement without saying what kind of engagement.
Right.
Yeah, it's like like an attention too, right? Bad attention is still attention. So people seek out bad attention constantly, and an AI is going to learn that if you don't train it ahead of time, right? And so it sounds to me like for an AI to be effective in a lot of these arenas, you need to actually basically give it like a set of rules and guidance and morals, if you will, before you release it, so that it can recognize when it's receiving bad information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually makes sense.
And not allow it to change that core aspect. Like,
and then we don't have to parent anymore either, because we just make it parent our kids too.
Well, I mean, our TVs already do, so it probably just happened by default.
Yeah, bad. My child was raised by Apple.
Yeah, you just wake up one day and your kid's like knows 3 languages, and you're like, "Holy shit, man! Handy Manny's really paying off." You know,
that is kind of scary.
Hey, we got a bunch of super chats here. I want to get through. Hey, Douglas Pocknet Jr., thank you for the $19.99 super chat. He said, "Happy Saturday, my fellow nerds." Well, happy Saturday to you.
Hey,
Bazinga's. Oh, actually, this is a good one. Bazinga, thank you for $5. He said, "So how do we know if they're real or fake? Like, once this technology gets so good that the uncanny valley doesn't work anymore, like then you need like digital forensics and stuff to really do deep analysis a human never could."
What'll get us there are what are called adversarial networks, right?
Yep.
Which is how we get. That's on the path that we're on right now. You have one model that is designed to create fake things. You have another model that's designed to identify fake things, and they feed back on each other.
It's like security.
And that is the way it's going to have to be. You'll have AI tools that will detect AI tools.
Yes. Actually, a good example of that is CAPTCHA, Google's CAPTCHA, V2 and V3. Because every time you answer a CAPTCHA where it's like, oh, pick the street lights, pick the street signs, pick the crosswalk, you're literally training an AI on not only how to identify what a crosswalk is, but also skipping the images that don't have a crosswalk in them, so it knows what something looks like that doesn't have a crosswalk in it. So you're basically
probably tracking your mouse moves and how your brain is analyzing those images.
All the data is gathered, and it's used to train it.
The ones where it's just a checkbox that says "I am not a robot." That's exactly what it's doing. It's watching your mouse movements, and that's how it knows that you're not really a robot. Because right? The path that you take isn't perfect, right?
Yep.
It's how fast the path your cursor takes, things like that. Because like if it were fake, if you were like having a script do it, your mouse would move almost instantly and in a perfect line, things like that. Which exactly. I've been rejected because I was too fast.
Me too.
I wrote a bot to play EVE Online back in the day, and EVE actually put in some anti-cheat code that if you move the mouse cursor along a completely linear path, it would instantaneously ban you and say that it was a bot detection. And
I did with Clash of Clans.
Yep. So what I had to do is I added some code to it that basically just generated a random seed. And then it would slowly add and slowly subtract from it randomly so that you'd get this like, no, because it would detect that too. I didn't like Parkinson's mode. So when you moved from point to point, it would basically just follow like this weird kind of like loopy and kind of speed up a little and slow down, kind of like somebody just, half drunk operating the mouse cursor. That worked. They never were able to detect that in the 6 months that I was running it. But yeah, the first script that I did.
Don't get drunk.
That's right. They get sober from drinking, right? Futurama. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I love it.
Bazinga, thank you for the $10. Damn, Bazinga's thrown down today. Thanks. Bazinga, thank you so much. We appreciate that support. He said, so you three are confirming we were really in the Matrix.
Not yet. We're getting there.
We're
not close enough.
We're not in the Matrix. No. We're trying to create it so we can get into it.
I feel I'd be sleeping more if we were.
That's true. That's true. Toasty Todd, thank you for the $5. He said, hey, Jerry, get them temps down yet? No, actually, I haven't. They're for my crypto mining stuff. Like all my stuff's running at they're too high. I gotta go through and tune the power down and stuff.
You probably gotta repaste those things, man. They're like 8-year-old video cards.
Dude, they're still working great though. Like 24/7, man. Never a hiccup, never a crash, never a single blip of bad stuff.
What is there's a tool that Nvidia has where you can downvolt them. So that if they're getting too hot like that,
I just use MSI Afterburner. You just drop the power target to like 70 and up the memory, down the CPU core clock, and apparently it'll drop it by like 20 C, and you'll lose like 5% of your mining performance. It's like it's totally worth it.
Yeah,
if I'm mining Ethereum now, do I need a special miner?
No,
I could use like an old computer or something.
I mean, as long as you don't got a shitty GPU. I mean, you need a decent GPU because it's
you do? Okay.
Yeah, to be profitable, you do. But even a 1060 from 2017 is profitable.
I was gonna say when he says decent, it's not necessarily modern. Like it doesn't have to be current gen.
Could I use my trash Mac that I'm not using for anything right now? Could I use that?
Probably. No, because it's got an AMD, right?
I'll tell you what it's got.
Yeah, dude.
So that's a Radeon 480, and this thing's $3 a day profitable.
And you get $250 for that. It's brand new in the box, never been used.
These are actually already sold for $350. The guy's picking them up on Saturday, and I looked on eBay and they're selling for $450 right now because of crypto.
Yeah.
This card brand new was like 300 or 250 bucks.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Dude,
wild?
they're nuts. It's nuts out there, man.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you what I've got mine in this
because of the mining. Like people are like, oh, how come, man, people are getting $300 for a 1060? It's like, yeah, because it's efficient.
Yeah, I can break down even this. A 970, a freaking Strix 970. I went
$200.
$200. Yeah, all day long.
I have one and my 1660 Ti. I shouldn't have sold I sold a full PC that had a 1070 in it for $600. And I mentioned this before. He like the very next day, the dude turned around trying to sell it for $950.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should have parted it out. And actually, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is like, man, I should just sell my parts because like to put into, I gotta build this machine for thermal.
Dude,
take,
I think
man.
a 1070 will do like $3+ a day profit. If you mined on that thing, that's like $90 a month. You'd make up the 600 in like 7 months.
Yeah, depending on what you're paying for electricity, though, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah, you do have to, but here it's cheap. We're hydro here, so it's 11 cents.
It's like, yeah, it's like at peak.
13
it's like 11
is peak, and 11 I think is normal. So it's not
all right. Mine has this piece of crap trash Mac has an AMD Fire Pro D500.
I have no idea what that even is.
That's AMD's it's their like workstation cards, the Fire Pro. It's like the Quadro equivalent ish, kind of.
Oh, Quadro's mine pretty hard. Like
it's not
fast
bad.
memory performance is what you need, and the Quadros have really fast memory performance. So I try it. Throw a miner on there. See what happens.
I mean, it can't hurt. What do you do?
So what miner can I run on the Mac?
I just run Nice Hash. A lot of people don't like it, but for me, it's easy and it just works.
It just works. So yeah, so Nice Hash is essentially it's like the folding at home kind of deal.
Oh yeah,
like You're renting out your free cycles to mine something else for someone else. You're usually mining Ethereum for someone else, but you're being paid in Bitcoin for your time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. You're not directly mining whatever coin.
Yeah, it's also I mean, they usually refer to it as like pool mining, but it even goes a step beyond that because they pay you a constant fee. And they take like 2% off the top of like the people that lease the time from you. So it's like, but to me, it's worth their 2% to just have it all be easy and use my phone to turn stuff on and off. Like I like it.
Just half-ass a little bit here and there. I'll do, a couple evenings here and there, and I'm already up 20 something bucks, $25 ish.
I am. Well, my hope is to never use this freaking piece of crap again. So if
run
I can
it into
have
the dirt, just mine on it and just run it into the dirt, dude. Yeah.
I'm creating an account as we speak.
And if you don't want to, you don't want the end of the wintertime, it'll heat your house too. Put it down in the basement and just run it and let that heat radiate to the house.
It's cold down here now. For some reason, the basement is like freezing down here.
Dude, fire that thing up. It won't be freezing for long.
You're underground. It should be a stable 60 something degrees all the time.
Yeah, I always hear people saying, "Oh, crypto mining is like such a waste." Blah blah blah. It's like not in the wintertime, dude. It's a waste to just burn fossil fuel to heat your house. It's like at least do some mining while you're heating your house. Jeez,
I'm with you.
And then in the summertime, just stick it out on your porch because nobody's gonna steal a trash Mac anyways. Like you can just set it out in the yard.
Bazinga says he's making $1,000 a month with Nice Hash.
What?
Dude,
yeah,
dude. What? You must have like racks of cards. Like you got to have like 20 cards going or something. That's
no,
nuts,
I'm actually right now. My profitability on Nice Hash is about $900 a month.
No shit.
With that mining server, my 3080 and 3 Titan XPs, I'm hitting about $39 a day.
Wow.
So like if you do math, let's see, 39 times 30.
That's the end of the streaming then.
Sorry, $780-ish dollars minus power. Power on that's probably going to be about $60 to $80. So I'm over $700 a month profitable.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I'm not mining on all of them all the time either, and I'm still hitting that. So
that's awesome.
So that's why I have so many people mess with me. They're like, "Oh my god, well, this GPU thing, why are they so expensive?" I can tell you how they're priced. Like it makes perfect sense. It's not like they're just pricing them to whatever people will pay for them, which would obviously still work. They're pricing them the same way they price crypto ASICs. It's how long does it take you to recover the cost of the card? So if you look at a card like a 3080 right now goes for like $1,500 when I think they're like they're supposed to be like $800 or something new, and they're going for like $1,500. And the reason being is $1,500 is the break even point at 6 months at current Ethereum value. So if you mine on that card 24/7 for 6 months, you will completely recoup the whole $1,500, and then everything after that is profit up until you sell the card.
Yep.
And that's why there's this huge expensive secondhand market, why people are paying more for secondhand cards than they are even for new cards. And it's because if the profitability is still there and the cryptocurrency keeps going up in value and the difficulty stays reasonable, like I already told you, how to fix this. I already figured out nobody I've seen has come up with this idea yet. So maybe I'm just batshit crazy, but I can tell you how to get the GPU cost down. every single person on Earth that has a GPU that's profitable needs to be mining when they're not gaming. Because if you get every single person on the planet mining, it is going to increase the difficulty of the network. It is going to lower the profitability, and then the cards won't have as high of an ROI, which means that now it'll take a year to recoup it. So they have to sell the card for half as much. So if you want to bring GPU prices down, you should be mining every second that you're not gaming.
Yeah.
There was a great discussion about this on one of my, like This Week in Tech things. And they were saying how the big thing everyone keeps saying is like, yeah, but you know what? All this cryptocurrency stuff, it's like destroying the planet with all the energy it uses. And this guy was going like, how much energy does a bank use?
Right.
Like, let's put it in perspective here. Like how many like, ridiculous wattages are each one of those bank, the physical banks, the digital services, the servers, the trading companies. This is purely, he felt, the establishment trying to poke holes in, like they do with like nuclear energy and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's the same as like food waste, right? Like the media tries to say, oh, you as an individual are throwing away blah 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 blah. Dude, no, it's the grocery store up the road that's throwing away 30% of their shit every day. That they're the ones that, like, the impact of one individual mining or driving their car or whatever is not the problem.
What car? What car?
Right?
I don't have one, so I'm gonna freaking mine.
There you go. But that's what I mean. It's like, oh, they complain about, oh, take public transportation because your car is puking, greenhouse gases into it. No, the human beings, the individuals are hardly the problem. It's massive coal plants. It's the industry pumping chemical creations and things like that. It's the big guys who are creating more problem than any collection of individuals.
Oh, for God's sake, it won't run on my freaking system.
Actually, Bazinga just did a calculation. He said if he did the math, if 50,000 people watch a single 30-minute YouTube video, they'll use the same amount of power as 1,200 houses do in a year.
See?
There you go.
So, yeah, and that's the thing is I don't think people really understand the things that they're comparing stuff to. Like, for instance, Bitcoin. Mining Bitcoin, yes, it's a lottery, right? You're spinning your computer. It's generating numbers. If you win the number, you win the lottery. All the other power on the network was used for verification or just thrown away. Not very efficient. Right. But with smart contracts, now your active mining is actually not just doing verifications. It's also like doing real work and inserting things in the blockchain and validating things like NFT. So
yeah, there's some good being done as well.
A lot of good is being done. So like your argument about the bank, you have all these technologies built into this crypto blockchain technology, and the next version of the World Wide Web is going to be built on top of it too. Now you have this situation where it's like, yeah, it's actually not wasted electricity. It's actually just distributed. It's not all being wasted in one spot. It's being distributed across the globe. So, there's different ways to look at it for sure. I can see both sides of the argument. But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to sit there and complain about GPUs being too expensive because you decide that you don't want to be a part of the thing that is available to you to be able to bring the price down of that GPU or make that GPU more obtainable to you, then what are you doing?
That's an interesting take on it, though. You don't like it, so start doing it.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't beat them, join them. I mean, that applies here. It really does, because the reason they're so profitable is and the reason the GPUs sell really high because they're super profitable. They're really profitable because not everybody is mining, so just the people that are mining right now get to split the profits amongst them. If everybody mined, the profitability would come down, which means the cards would be worth less and more gamers would have access to them. So literally by mining, you better your position. And even if you don't, let's say old Uncle Barnacules over here is completely wrong. You still
let's not say that.
You still make money from the mining, which means now you can put that towards the more expensive GPU to mitigate the inflation of the cost. So if you mine for a year and you make, $300 or $250 or $300, now you can afford to pay that $300 more on the GPU without it financially hitting you, because you recouped it by doing the same thing that the people are doing that are driving up the cost of the card in the first place. So there are ways that you can actually mitigate the cost of these cards and bring them down, or be able to buy the cards at the higher cost without incurring that cost penalty. So, but you have to play the game. That's the thing. It's like, that's why everybody's getting into crypto. That's why these cards are worth so much and everybody's buying them up, because it's profitable. And as long as it's profitable, people will continue to do it. That's just human nature.
I have to spout some hatred.
Do it. Do it. Spout it.
So my Mac can't update to the latest version to run the crypto thing, because I guess Mac is no longer supporting my freaking desktop system.
Oh my gosh. Man,
So-
Mac just garbage to the end.
Like it so pisses me off that they just dropped this stuff. You know who'd be pissed off right now? Anybody who spent $10,000 on one of those new Intel desktop systems that were going to like revolutionize the desktop.
And now all the attention's going to be on
world.
M1, right? So like
They're all
nobody's going to give a
M1s.
shit.
And they'll be
Intel.
phased out. This company is
Anybody who buys
crooks.
into Apple thinking they're getting longevity out of it is
2 years. You get 2 years, basically 2 years. Although my laptops lasted a little longer, but honestly, it's 2 to 3 years maybe.
the laptops and mobile devices that are tip top. Their desktop stuff is useless. I'm sorry. And it's not just Apple hate. It's their hardware choices. It's the walled garden thing that
They just
keep doing.
abandon it. They just abandon these systems, and it drives me. I spent like $5,000 on this computer.
They're always a generation behind too. That's the other thing I've noticed with
Can
Apple.
I whip it and just put Linux on it?
You can,
Yeah.
yeah. There's nothing stopping you from putting Linux
I mean,
on it.
it's basically Mac OS anyway, is Unix based.
Yeah,
so
it's like
yes.
based on BSD, so it's like just install like Linux. So you probably won't even
And
notice
just to
the
be clear
difference.
to everyone, I'm on Windows 10 now, just so everyone's that's right. It's just mainly because of peer pressure. I didn't want to be. I was sick of being laughed at by Aux and
Hey, let me go
Barney
through
over
some of these super chats and catch up here. God, people are being like really
Thank you so
generous
much,
today.
you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We really need this, so we appreciate
Everybody
it.
got them stimmies.
Look at
Yep.
them. They're starving. For God's sake,
I know
these
it's
people.
the stimulus, isn't it? It's like people got stimulus and they're like, we have money again. Woo, celebrate.
Is that what it is?
Stimulate me.
It's the government should just directly give the money to you guys. basically.
Jeffrey Tripp, thank you for the $2. Said Polar Express animation style was creepy. God, it was.
Same deal. It's that weird,
That uncanny valley. Like it's too real to be a cartoon, and it's too cartoonish to be real. So it gets your brain stuck in this weird state.
And they used Tom Hanks's face on like 4 different characters. The kid, the
That's
main
right.
character kid is Tom Hanks's face. The conductor is Tom Hanks. I think Santa Claus is Tom Hanks. And that's part of it too, is like they tried to use an adult face structure on a child head, stuff like that. And your brain knows 10,000, 50,000 years of looking at faces for survival is like,
Yeah.
we know what we're doing when we're looking at faces.
Yeah. Well, and it's instinct too. It's like there's few things we're born with that we know how to do. And identifying faces is one of them. Like you don't need to be
100%.
taught how to identify a face. It's just you know how. Dylan, thank you for the $5. He said, "Can you say these Australian words so we can laugh with you?" Okay, so let me try this. So,
what do you got? What do you got?
So I got Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Okay.
Melbourne.
How about you, Ox? What do you got there?
Oh, it's Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay, so we got 2 Melbournes and a Melbourne. All right, we got kangaroo.
Roo.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Ooh, that was good, actually.
Wait,
that was good.
Am I supposed to be trying this in an accent? Or
Yeah, are we supposed to say them? Yeah, do you want to laugh at us or are we laughing at you?
Well, they're laughing at us for how we say it probably as Americans. So by doing the accent, we're probably negating that. So I'll be the American. You guys can be the attempt at parroting Australia.
I haven't heard a lot of
So how about emu? The bird, emu.
Emu.
I don't even. Emu.
Emu.
That's a hard one of the best times. Emu.
Oh, here's a good one. Wallaby.
Wallaby. It's a wallaby.
All right.
Wallaby.
Platypus.
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 Okay.
Platypus.
Uluru.
Uluru.
Okay. Holden.
That's what they used to. That was the rock, right? It was Ayers Rock that became Uluru. Is that right? Is that?
I have no idea what Uluru
What's
is.
going on?
I think Uluru is what they call Ayers Rock now, or used to call Ayers Rock.
What about Holden?
Holden.
Okay, so Holden's like, okay, so am I getting that one right at least, Dylan? Or is it Olden?
I would have dropped the H sound, more just old.
So like Odin. Okay. Commodore.
Commodore. I don't even know. God, now I'm getting confused. Now I'm sounding Irish. That's a wee Commodore.
Okay. AuxxZillary, you do it in Australia. David, you do it in British. Okay.
The thing is, there is a touch of Irish in the Australian accent. I feel like because of the criminal stuff, right? Yeah. But
the Irish were disproportionately sent there because they got drunk and beat people up.
That's true.
I do get that feeling.
That's hilarious. Monero.
I don't know.
And
I don't know that word at all. Bogan.
All right, Dylan, I hope that was worth your $5 Australian.
Bogan. I say.
Let's see. Pup Shepherd. Thank you for the $10. He said, I made my first custom loop. Rock on, dude. He said, I got EK products. EK actually makes really good stuff. Just did the GPU, a system 1080 Ti and a 7700K. All right, that's pretty good.
That's my system.
What's that?
That's my system.
Oh, it is. And, I bet you paid for. I bet you that 1080 Ti cost him as much as like a 3090 would have at our release.
I'm waiting. It's too expensive.
You have to wait, dude. Like you're not gonna, unless you find a GPU at MSRP through some backwater connection. Like there's no reason to build a computer right now. Zero. Mobile is MSI Z270 with 32 gig of RAM. I made a mostly clean Twitter at Pup Shepherd. My safe for work is now Pup Shepherd 80. Oh, we got a safe for work, Pup Shepherd. Okay, I will go.
NSFW.
Wait,
did
it say NS? Oh, God, I'm glad I got that right. Almost did it again.
This is the one you should be watching at work.
All right, so he said he okay, so the mostly clean is Pup Shepherd, and then the other one is Pup Shepherd 80. Okay, for his adult one. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. You guys all know the story of Pup Shepherd. I'll tell it again over on Twitch next time. Son of a Tech, thank you for the $5. He said Nvidia leaked a driver, or Nvidia's leaked driver is interesting as it requires X8 and a monitor plugged into mine. The idea could help further decentralize the networks. Wait, what?
They've already got monitor spoofers. It's a little weird little widget that you plug into your HDMI or DP port, and it doesn't go anywhere. It just lights up a light, and it tricks the card into thinking there's a monitor plugged in.
Oh, yeah, that would be an easy thing to do. You just got to you could literally plug in an HDMI splitter, and it would get the EID back from it, and we just think it has a monitor.
I've seen it on. I think I just came across it on like AliExpress or something.
Because this was a problem I had with my projector shutting down when my computer went to sleep. I used to have a thing called a DVI doctor, and I'd plug it in between the projector and the computer, and it'd basically keep a constant fake EID signal going to the projector to keep it powered on even when the computer went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude.
And that would allow you to do video capture directly from the screen as if it was a screen.
Yeah.
Well, it tricks the card into thinking there's a monitor plugged in all the time.
Oh man, I got to tinkle. I'll be right back.
Okay, all right.
I got to tinkle.
Because one of the things I get into all the time, so this is a different problem. One of the things I get into all the time is like, the agent's always asking for demo reel stuff, right? Like, what's new stuff, and of course, the new stuff is still either recently on the air or recently released in a in some kind of a DRM package. Yeah. And so I'm constantly trying to outwit. I'll buy my own films, my own TV stuff. I'll buy it, and then I can't capture my scenes to put into a demo reel that no one's seeing anyways. So I'm constantly looking for software to let me do that. And the Mac was notoriously bad at that because the Mac has so many built-in sort of copyright functions. So I'm hoping
there's some good ways. Actually, like your classic capture cards can get around that. They'll strip the stuff out of the video signal so you can capture it directly.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that. That's what an idiot.
It used to be. It's not so much a problem anymore.
But you have to capture it in real time then.
Are you talking about the cheap HDMI splitters that lie about the encryption?
The strip because like I remember PlayStation streamers used to have an issue with this because some
the PS4
games or some stuff. Yep. It has the DRM stuff in the cable or something like that in the video stream, and it wouldn't let you directly capture it. You'd have to pass it through something else that basically strips out the DRM stuff. And now it's like a matter of course. Like it used to be that you'd have to get specific devices that could do it. And now it's like built into everything. HDCP, that's it. Thank you, Untidy.
Yeah, you can literally go to Amazon and buy the cheaper the better. Buy like a $10 or $15 HDMI splitter, and what the HDMI splitter does is it just ignores the HDCP encryption and strips it off and sends it to the TV. Yeah. And people buy I had to buy one because I had an old projector that didn't support HDCP. So my PlayStation 4 would just say no signal when you connected it to the projector, and I went and bought this cheap little $15 HDMI splitter. I didn't even use it as a splitter. I just plugged in one of the split ports and one of the regular ports that stripped out the signal, and it worked perfectly. You can also use them for capturing video.
Because I have a couple of splitters because I was using them. I think I'm using them now, actually, a couple of them.
Yeah, the expensive ones, the reason they're expensive is because they have the chip in there that does the HDCP pass-through. So it basically relays the packets. The cheap ones don't have that. They just strip it off. So basically it thinks it's talking to a TV with HDCP, and then it just drops the encryption and just sends the unencrypted feed to the television or the capture card. And it works flawlessly. So it's like this is the thing that's funny is these companies spend, arguably millions of dollars creating these things. Like, I'm sure the guy at Nvidia thought he was really fucking clever. That's like, oh, they're gonna have to plug in a monitor, so now they're gonna have to buy 16 monitors if they want to mine. Oh, joke's on them. And some dude's like, well, why don't we just plug a thing into the port that just says it's a monitor? Like, it doesn't have to actually be a monitor. Oh, how much is that gonna cost? Oh, 35 cents. Like, it's not a big deal. And then that screws over the people that buy the graphics card, because what about the people that want to like not have a monitor on? Like what about the people that just decide they want a computer and they want to put 2 graphics cards in there, and the second one they don't want connected to a monitor? Right? It's dumb. The shit that they come up with, it's like you could debunk in like 5 freaking seconds, right? Oh, and you guys heard about the Nvidia leak for the 1060, right? That unlocked the full mining performance of the card.
Of course.
So not only did Nvidia lie their ass off. Oh, my accident, my balls. No, it was 100% on purpose. Nvidia needed plausible deniability, and they knew that if they dropped this, they'd sell every single 1060 they made in an instant. And because they know people are going to mine on them anyways. The thing is, people think, oh, it blocked crypto mining. No, it blocked one algorithm.
Yeah. Why on earth were they picking on Ethereum in particular?
Yeah, especially when it wasn't even the most profitable when it came out. Like everybody was mining. I forget what the other coin was, but
someone sent them a lot of Bitcoin.
Right? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, did you hear about that about the EFTs? Did you hear about that? That little scam? The what? Remember they sold that massive artwork for like 69 million.
Yeah, that's Beeple. Yeah, Beeple sold his NFT portfolio or whatever. It's like $69 million or something.
No shit.
So he's one of the purchasers, including another big crypto guy, and he bought it, converted it to his own Bitcoin, his own crypto thing, and is selling portions of that video of the ownership. So it's like the snake's eating its tail. Like there's all these crypto people,
Something I saw too related to that, where somebody had like went through the chain and looked at the chunk that was Beeple's expensive ass NFT thing, and there was I can't remember the details of it, but the pointer is being hosted by, it's not the actual image that's on the chain. It's a pointer to a hosting service. Like it's the actual product, the file or whatever, isn't in the chain, and it's being hosted by some company or whatever. Like
it's like IPFS that's distributed, I think.
But the thing, I guess, like the problem though is if this company goes under, if it stops hosting the file, you've lost your thing, which and apparently this is a kind of a part of the problem. I think earlier on in the stream, people were kind of mentioning it. It's like, it's not, you could have the binary in the chain and it would never go away because now it's part of the chain, I guess. Right. But the way that they've done it with this and a few other of these NFTs is it's a pointer to like a URL to the hosting service where the actual file is. And so if that server dies or whatever, if that pointer doesn't point to anywhere anymore, it's gone.
It's a little bit different than that in that it's still decentralized because they use something called IPFS, which is Web 3.0. It's basically like BitTorrent in a way. It's distributed file system across the whole network of people. And so that asset that you have is actually redundantly stored across thousands of computers as fragments. So you'd still need like that crypto network, that secondary crypto network that's the file system to die, that whole network to die for your physical pointer to be invalid.
Oh, so that's good.
So it's still pretty protected because I know companies that actually use NFT for cryptographic verification now. They literally store the physical picture of the certificate in the IPFS and then link it to one or more cryptocurrencies, blockchain.
Man, it seems, I don't know. It seemed I didn't quite understand the whole thing because like I barely have a grasp of the overall concept in general. But yeah, it seemed to be pointing out kind of a small issue with the whole IPFS thing because it at least the instance that he seemed to be talking about was that the problem was that it only ever points to one place, and if that one place is gone, then you can't get at it anymore.
If you don't understand it, you should pour as much money as possible into it. That's generally what seems to be the way it's done now.
The thing is, though, is like, let's try to put that in terms like for a real world comparison, though. It's like if the Louvre burns down, the Mona Lisa's gone.
Right.
So it's like, so you want to invest, like if you're paying $69 million for a piece of artwork, you want to make sure the Louvre ain't getting burned down, right?
I want the USB stick with the real file on it. Like something.
Yeah, but the Louvre, okay, so you want to go to Louvre, pick up your Mona Lisa, take it home and put it in the garage and be like, that's my Mona Lisa.
If it's mine.
But what if your house burns down then? Like,
take your little chunk of it if you own a little tiny portion of it.
I like the idea of distributed and redundant, because it's like you have to burn down 10,000 Louvres to completely eradicate the file that I own.
Right.
You know, it's like
but as soon as you get into the physical world, it doesn't work anyway.
It doesn't work in the physical world because you only have one, and you can't do without quantum entanglement. You still just got the one, right? I mean, even with quantum entanglement, you still got the one.
I mean, what happens with people's like Fortnite skins and that kind of stuff? Like, so the game goes under, you've basically lost the money, right?
What happens to your Steam library?
Yep.
If Valve decides to turn off the Switch, what do you get?
What happens to my Apple movies when
no, all of that stuff.
I mean, Valve released a statement saying that if and when they ever go under, now keep in mind it's like go under. If they transfer, another company buys them, then they could screw you over. But if they ever go under, they claim that they're just going to send a cryptographic key to everybody to permanently decrypt their video game library. But the problem is now you can't download the games again. If you lose that copy, you can't get the digital copy online anymore. It's like you have to basically preserve that install of Steam that's ancient, that may not even work on the next version of the operating system. So this whole move to digital has completely screwed the secondhand market. It has completely screwed us from ever having physical ownership of anything. Yep. NFT is still, though, the closest thing that you have in the digital world to physical ownership of something. Because what NFT allows you to do is the way the blockchain is built, as long as you have certificate 1 or 1 of 50 or whatever, however many the original author produced and advertised, and he never published the artwork or the content that you're buying before the NFT was generated, then you can absolutely prove 100% without any doubt that you own an original, that it is in your wallet, in your possession, and you're the only one that can transfer ownership of it. So it's the closest thing that you have to like physical ownership of an item. And people even do it for like some physical items too, like the Not a Flamethrower, right? My buddy Bits Be Trippin' created a whole webpage where you pay like $25. You can take that freaking Not a Flamethrower with your serial number and everything, register the certificate of authority, and basically put it into the Ravencoin blockchain, and then link it to the IPFS. That's all the pictures of the actual certificate, the picture of the flamethrower, and then it's permanently registered in the blockchain. So if you ever sell that to somebody else, they can look it up in the registry and see that you were the original buyer and where you got it and everything.
Okay, you talked about that before, and I want to do that because I want to do. So I was doing the magic stuff with Randy, the magic.
Hey, cool, look at that!
Ooh,
and he had this coin. So this is a coin that was given to me by an old friend of mine who is, he's an investor, he's a business guy, and he hands out these cards to people who are like, like friends and like, who he feels like has a, cool a place in their life. And it's like, I can't remember, it's like called like a Raymond's Capital coin or something. But I was like, okay, I want to print out like 100 of these things. Man. I want to be able to somehow mark them in a way, maybe even using my little CNC with some kind of a number or something that could identify and link it to an NFT. And then you've got something that's physical that says like Tech Bandits coin, and it has an NFT attached to it to prove that it's actually one of a kind type thing.
Yeah, you could do that. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what my buddy's doing with the Not a Flamethrower. So I could put you in touch with them.
So yeah. Because I just thought it would be really fun from the sort of the tech side of it for the nerds, for the Tech Bandits. Also, if I was someone on the outside, I would want to buy like a really cool chunky coin with like with the Tech Bandits logo on it.
Yeah, even Beeple did that with his artwork. He printed out like physical boxes with some of the artwork in them, everything linked to the NFT, and sent them to some of the people that were the higher bidders.
See, that makes sense to me because then you're getting something, and if the NFT thing falls apart, you still go like, oh, I have a numbered coin that's like.
I had a similar idea one time. Where'd I go with it? Hang on.
The shelf of shame.
The shelf of shame.
Where I've just spent money on things I shouldn't have bought.
I had a similar idea. Somebody had cut me out a few just acrylic circles, right? There's clear acrylic circles, and I put I had some vinyl cutout stickers of my logo that I put on them, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool to like etch the logo into it, and I could send these out to like Twitch subscribers, like, hey, you sub, I'll send you this cool Ox coin. The thing was like, yay big, but that's even better because like now it's like you're part of the cool club. Like you have an official thing.
It's like chunky. It's like I keep thinking of like it's like the I thought it would be kind of like you almost want to sort of equate it to the idea of the John Wick coins.
Yeah.
Where you can have like numerous of these coins, and I don't know what they would buy for you, except you'd be like sort of, oh yeah, cool, you're all right.
Yeah. That's neat. I like that idea a lot. But
someone was saying so. And Theater was saying, what about an NFC tag built into the physical coin? The problem with that is that then my hope was like, was there a way to keep the manufacturing costs down by having like just a number of them printed? Like or minted, I guess would be the term.
You they already did it. I have a physical Bitcoin with an NFT with a what is it? Near field, whatever, NFI or NFC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is you bought them back in the day, and I had one. Actually, wait, no way. If that fucking thing still has a Bitcoin on it, it was one Bitcoin when I got it like 10 years ago. I don't think I ever did anything with it.
Jerry's a millionaire.
I need to find that fucking thing today.
I will take a small percentage for that.
If I find that today, holy shit.
If you find that, I would tear the freaking house
Jerry's
apart.
Gonna tear his fucking
dude, I have, because my buddy sent me an NFT coin that had a Bitcoin on it. The way it worked is you scanned it and it went to the blockchain where one Bitcoin was. And then you could transfer the Bitcoin physically off the coin, and then the Bitcoin was worth nothing at that point. It was basically a physical representation of a wallet.
Yeah, I love it.
And I just remembered that, and I swear to God, I still have that thing somewhere around here.
There's no reason you couldn't, right?
Holy crap! Random guy says that's 59K right now.
If I find that coin, God, I hope it has a coin on it. I don't remember if it did or not. I know he sent it to me, but I don't remember.
If you find that coin, you can mint the freaking coin.
That's so cool.
That's
actually I really like that idea. You could where's that fucking coin? I mean that brings
We've lost Barnacules now
into like how I said before, like if you were going to do like a traceless sort of payments, right? Cash is only still exists because of, illegal transfers of value, right? Like people want to hide their transactions in that way. And like Jerry has mentioned before, is like once you've converted your Bitcoins to something real, right? That's when they got you. They can trace you back through all of the transactions on the chain and get you. But if you could keep it anonymous, you have like these sticks or these credit sticks or a coin that has no link to anything in doesn't link back to you or to a person in general, right? You could have still a traceless sort of
I just love the idea. There's an old-fashioned quality to it as well. There's just something I've always loved the feeling of coins.
I do too.
Like big chunky coins.
Big ones.
I'm gonna tear the whole house
you're in
apart
England
now.
And you're carrying around like your own body weight in freaking change. Like
I always like the idea of like getting gold coins like that, like or just making you could melt down gold and stuff and make a disc and that sort of a thing. But yeah, I love that sort of, it gives me something to fiddle with, really.
Yeah, that's it. It's basically like it's like a what's it called? Like a fidget spinner.
Gold pressed latinum. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure. But I man, that would be really cool. That would be really cool.
I was just think it's a great way also just to raise capital for something like that, right? I mean, I just think that's just it could be a way of doing it.
I'm doing it, Jerry. When I get that 3D printer, I'm gonna start making Ox coins.
Do it, man. Do it. I already made Barnacules and sold a shitload of them on my store back in the day.
Wait a second, did you sell actual physical coins as well?
I did. I had them up on my store, and people would come and buy them, and I'd send them along. They buy shirts and stuff, and I'd throw a coin in the box.
Would you 3D print them?
Yeah, I 3D print them even in a metallic filament, and even polished them in a rock tumbler, so they actually looked metallic and they were heavy.
So you could even do that, but as long as each coin is somehow individually, marked, so that there's, because to me that's what gives it the value, right? I mean, that's
I signatured and numbered all mine. Mine all had a number on them and a signature.
Which I mean, like you said, you could tie it back to a wallet, right? And you could store the wallet, code or key or whatever in a QR square, tiny little QR square on the back of the thing, or if you were gonna do like minting, if you're gonna mint like metal coins, it just occurred to me the hashes on the edge, like on a quarter, that could be a barcode.
Ooh, that's neat.
Yeah, and if you used I always forget what it's called. There's basically a way to 3D model using just math.
Sure.
And so what you do is you take the model, you take the circumference of it, and you basically just create a script that each coin that it prints it changes the barcode slightly or whatever, and then slices it and sends it to the printer. And then you're printing like batches of 12. If you're on a regular printer, if you have a belt printer, just print them in perpetuity, like one after another until you run out of filament. And each one would be unique.
I just thought get like one of these coin printing, one of these like, what are they, challenge coins or whatever, or or maybe, and then just get them to print out like, I don't know, 500 of them or something. So it's a limited run, and you'd have, and then if there was some way. I don't think they could make each. If they were to make each one individual, it would probably cost a fortune. Whereas if you could just buy 500 coins, throw them on the CNC machine, and just have them just do your barcodes or whatever, that would work.
That'd be the way to go, or laser etch them. Well,
and also there's a value there too, where you go like, okay, so that they are yes, they are generically created, but they are also handcrafted.
Which, I mean, man, there's some cool ideas you could go with that, because like honestly, you could do it. You could mint them yourself. You take a clay or whatever, and or wax or something. You carve it out, and okay, this is my coin, and then you make a mold for it, and you melt down aluminum or something, and cast them yourself one at a time. And then it'd be heck, the casting of it would be unique. In a sense, you wouldn't need any sort of code or anything on it. Each individual casting would have its own imperfections and stuff.
Oh, man, that would be kind of
itself would be the code.
Like you could take a high res photo of each one, and then use some kind of an algorithm to turn that into a hash. Yeah, that is neat.
Because there would be variance, even in the most perfect mold, would still have some wiggle to it.
But that's interesting for everything. That's interesting for people who collect coins and stuff. You could say, like, I have this coin. You identify it by taking a high-res photo, or use your little iPhone to scan it, so you can see the various different levels. And then you've identified that one specific coin. That's interesting. Huh.
I'm going to go nuts trying to find that coin now. God damn it. My OCD is going to just fucking eat me alive today. I've seen it, too, within the last year. I know it's on the premises somewhere. That NFC token. And then I got to download the app on the cell phone to scan it to get the crypto wallet, because it has the private key on it too. It has the wallet and the key. So, oh my God!
But here's the thing, though.
I think it's empty though.
If you knew you'd had it, you would have sold it at $100 or whatever, right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking.
It's now worth. Yeah.
No, but it's entirely possible I did sell that. That's the thing I don't know, is I've had that coin for like 6 or 7 years, like since even the beginning of Bitcoin. It was even older than that. So I don't remember if I sold the coin off it or if I transferred the coin off it into my wallet back when I was mining. That's what I don't know. I don't remember. But if I find that coin and it has 1 Bitcoin on it, because they did originally that when you bought them, it was 1 Bitcoin in a wallet encrypted to that token. So I was like, son of a bitch, man, if they had a Bitcoin on it, that's like fucking $60,000. And a coin, I mean, that's worth more than if the coin was actually pure gold.
Oh yeah,
by a lot. Yeah. So I mean, that would just be a wild story. I'd make a YouTube video on that. If I find it and there's a coin on there, that's going to be a YouTube video for fucking sure.
And think about they would have thought about that when it was worth nothing. I mean, the ones that I got, so the card that I got that had Bitcoin on it wasn't for Bitcoin. It was for $20 of Bitcoin.
Yeah, but $15
right? So, but I cashed it in for the Bitcoin when I first got it, because I thought it was kind of a cool little system. It was like, what was it called? It was called like a Rise wallet or something. And I've watched it go from $15 to like 200.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Somehow or another in like 2016 or something, I got $11 of Bitcoin, and it's fluctuated, of course. I think it's like around $65 now, and I didn't even do nothing. I just like logged into Coinbase and realized, oh shit, hey man, at some point in February 2016, somebody gave me $11 in Bitcoin.
I don't want to transfer mine because I'm so cheap. I don't want to pay any of the
the fees. Yeah.
So you guys want to see something cool?
What's up?
What'd you get?
Let me make sure I can show this. I just want to make sure. No, I didn't find the coin, but.
Here's the picture.
Can you guys see that?
30K 425 and change. Oh, is it a 20?
$20,424.
So that Bitcoin wallet?
That's my that's my crypto wallet. So that I trade out of. Now let me tell you.
What was that number again, Barnacules?
This was 20,000. No. So check this out. This, and it's not in one crypto. So if you search the blockchain, you're not going to find the wallet. Even it doesn't matter if you do anyways. No, the reason I'm showing that to you is because that's almost all LBC. Like the library coin.
Like
I transferred my YouTube. I transferred my YouTube channel.
That.
It's still going up. Like a month ago, 1 month ago, I rediscovered my library wallet, found out the library coin was worth like, I think it was 7 cents when I did it. And I transferred over my coin over and it was like 7,000. It was something like 7,500 or something. I was like, oh my God, 7,500.
Dude, you got to put me in touch with that guy because I've tried like numerous times and I cannot get it to do it. It keeps saying I'm not allowed to because I don't have enough followers. I was like 40,000 followers. Isn't
okay,
enough?
That's a little weird. Okay, no,
yeah.
we'll get you worked out. But anyways, that's been sitting in that account for a month. Library coin went from 7 cents to right now today it's worth here, let me see if I can get the actual dollar amount. 24 cents a coin. So this is something that not even 6 months ago was worth like maybe $15 or $20, and now it's worth. I think my library coin portion of this is like 18,000. So I'm not selling it. I'm letting it ride. I already talked to my wife. I said this is money that we didn't have before. It's this library coin thing. It's still going up. We're just going to leave it in there and we're just going to let it grow. And I diversified a little bit. I pulled some out, put it into Ethereum, Doge, ADA, Ravencoin, LTC, Hive, Algo, just little bits, a couple hundred here and there. But no, I'm just letting it ride. This right here is either lottery ticket or I lose everything. That's my
the way
commitment.
to gamble is it's money you didn't have.
It's money I didn't have. So I don't.
You're not really losing anything.
I'm not because if it all goes away, it never existed.
It was nothing to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. So you should just give it to us.
Well, it's something now. It's just if it goes away, it was nothing.
And there's people that I've showed that, and it's like a lot of people wouldn't show that, but I want to show that because I want people to see that it's something that I just forgot about. They got huge, and if I sold it to, I could click one button right now, and boom, that's 20,000. And I could use that money right now, but I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to do it because I did that with Bitcoin 2 years ago, and I turned all my Bitcoin into $4,000, and I didn't need the money terribly then. And I took that $4,000, and granted, it was a profit. I was happy with it. I spent $400 in electricity. I got $4,000 in Bitcoin. If I'd have held that till today and I sold today, it would have been over $800,000. It would have paid for my house, my son's future. It would have given us some retirement. It would have done all those things. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing it again.
That's where I'm at with I mine a little bit here and there on the backside, and I'm not going to be super rich over it because whatever. But hey, I'm paying the electricity bill anyway. My computer runs practically all the time anyway. Might as well.
Well, look what I've invested in. See that?
Nice.
$4.99 in a mystery minifigure pack. And what's it worth now? $12.49.
No shit. You serious?
That's freaking sick. Investing right there.
Hey.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of
that and Magic the Gathering cards. I'm telling you, that's why I wanted to talk about cards and NFTs today. Because the Magic the Gathering cards and the Pokemon cards. My son went through his old Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Over $1,000.
So my ladies, I guess my future parents-in-law,
right?
They have a binder or two of my soon-to-be brother-in-law's old Pokemon cards. And every once in a while, I'm like, hey, you guys really ought to just sit down and take an hour and go through that book, those fucking binders. You guys probably got like $100,000 at least just sitting there.
It's insane.
I'm like,
and the demand right now is crazy high because of the pandemic.
I was telling them, I'm like, they sold a first edition holographic Charizard for $800,000 or something. It was insane. I'm like, don't just let them sit in that room. Like, you guys really need to look through those and get them graded, get them in the acrylic box, and either sell them now or hold on to them and in a good way. Like,
well, for a small percentage, I would offer to say you could go in and do the you could examine it for them.
I keep telling them, like, hey man, if you ever want to move this stuff, I'll pay you a monthly fee or something just to I'm like, you guys.
I know a working actor who might invest in them. You could say that.
They were doing a promo at McDonald's for the 25th anniversary. They were giving away Pokemon cards with Happy Meals. I bought 2 Happy Meals and I opened one pack very, very carefully just to look at them and put them back in the pack. And now they're hiding in a book, and I'm gonna wait 25 years. I'm not gonna open another one.
I've got a giant. I've got an entire cabinet now that I have dedicated to the trading cards that I have.
Oh man,
it's because I honestly, I I play with the collection more just like moving them around and organizing them differently than I do actually playing the games. I freaking love collecting things.
I do too. I'm a bit of a pack rat, and I have to be.
I am too.
I have to be very deliberate, like, because my lady doesn't like mess and chaos like that. So like, I have to be very deliberate in the things.
That's why I'm in the
collect.
basement freezing.
Yeah, that's why I have my shelf and the closet.
Yeah.
But man, it's so cool. I'm super stoked for this kind of stuff. I'm glad to. It makes me want to just grab up some of these boxes, these booster pack boxes, and just hold on to them. 25 years is a drop in the bucket for me. I'll only be 60.
The only problem is that we open them all.
Nah, not me. I know better.
See, but then there's no fun. Like, I want the fun. I'd rather have the fun of opening 36 packs of Magic the Gathering cards.
You
with my
buy
son
some
than
to open
waiting.
and some to keep.
That's
what you do.
Yeah.
I know.
That'd be my deal. That's why I only opened one of the 2 McDonald's things I got. Was like I looked at them, I took a picture, and then I very carefully put them back in the packet, and they're sitting in between pages of a book.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I mean, we got a pack of. I got a booster box of the Calrain, the recent Magic the Gathering. We've opened all of them.
Yeah.
And then I just ordered the Magic the Gathering 2021, another booster box of 36 that again will open because because I have a problem.
Well, no, I mean, hey, for one,
it's an investment
for immediate content and return. That's not a bad idea. You know, people love watching other people open that stuff.
Well, yeah, I'm not that smart. So every so often I just do them on a stream once in a while.
Boogie 2988 does it. He unboxes all the time on his Twitch streams.
Oh, that's cool.
See, he was $4.99. He's now $9.99.
Getting paid.
What? Really?
But if you think about it, like if you were to scale that.
Yeah.
If you were to scale the Lego, and the reason why I do minifigures is because I thought you could go and buy Lego kits.
Yeah.
Like the whole Lego kits, but they take up a lot of space. They're incredibly expensive. These are very cheap. They're very portable. And you could mail them to people. Like if someone wanted to buy that, I could just mail it to them and it wouldn't cost me nothing. And you could have hundreds of these things. It's like Jane's nightmare.
I lost my baseball card collection. Like, well, I didn't get lost. They got stolen when I got robbed when I was a teenager. But it's like when I lost it, it was worth like, I want to say like $2,000. It was basically an entire suitcase full of Beckett's and cards, loose cards and collectibles. Like I had 11 Ken Griffey Jr. Topps rookie cards that were like back then they were worth I think like $35 a card or something. Today, who knows? They might be worth thousands of dollars today. And I had like 11 of them. So
I threw away all my Star Wars cards.
I had 70s cards, Lou Brock. I had like so many really, really like weird oddball people you never heard about, like in the 60s and 70s that were worth a ton because they didn't print very many of them because they weren't popular. And they stole it. They broke into my house. They stole it. And they stole a bunch of other shit and all my computers and stuff. But I think back every once in a while and I'm like, man, if I still had that suitcase of cards today, I bet you that there's a couple cards in there that would, those couple cards selling them would bring hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm like,
I had all the original Star Wars trading cards. I bought hundreds of them. And at some point they just got thrown out. I also had, get this, I had every single Charlie's Angels card you could get from the series.
The original series?
Yeah.
You old son of a bitch. No,
I had them all.
Man, that would have been worth some bank today.
I'm sure. And I could have got Kate Jackson to sign it because I worked with her when I was older, but I didn't have. Yeah. There you go. This is the most depressing TikTok ever.
I know. I'm going to be like tearing my house apart trying to find this coin. David's going to be like, I wonder if I kept those Charlie's Angel cards, tearing his house apart. I'm going to be playing
with my Lego figures.
AuxxZillary's going to be trying to scalp all of his parts on eBay for like getting that crypto money.
I mean, if anybody wants a 1660 Ti, I have one.
Hit him up, man. Hit him up.
Yeah, I'll put it in my freaking trash Mac. Oh, right. It doesn't fit because it's a circle.
It would fit actually because it's only half length, but Apple doesn't support Nvidia anymore. So,
oh my god!
So it would fit, but it still wouldn't work.
Actually, I think this is appropriate for David. So Bazinga tipped $5. Said, "What's the difference between a Mac and an Etch-a-Sketch board? You don't have to shake the Mac to erase the screen."
Oh my god,
that is a great joke. No, I'm going to use that.
Look, the Macs are beautifully made. They are when you compare like a Mac laptop to this rather lovely Asus, Republic of Gaming thing that I got on a special recently with a 2070 Super in it. I might add. That was pretty fun. Well, I mean, the laptop version. So basically, all it means is that you sound like you're actually using an air conditioner for a my laptop. I sit down in bed to play Magic the Gathering and Arena, and Jane's just like, you cannot do that here, because it's like there are things like blowing.
Yeah, the air's like 1,000 degrees coming out because I have a razor.
The bed's like going like this.
Yeah. So I have a razor blade that has a 1080 in it. Yeah. And oh my God, you can't even touch the bottom of it. Like you have to lift it off your lap and like, because it just gets a million degrees and it sounds like a wind tunnel. It's crazy.
The temperature's good on this one. Oh, the temperature's pretty good on this one, but it's blowing all the time.
I love this razor blade though, because it's literally built just like a 2011 MacBook Pro, where it's like all solid aluminum cut from one piece. It's a beautiful, beautiful laptop.
They did a good job with the razors.
Let's see here. Nell Shamrell, thank you for the $5 super chat. We appreciate that support. He said, thanks for the company this Saturday morning. Currently listening to you while working through a tutorial for Blender, the 3D modeling software.
Oh, yeah. Blender's great. Love Blender.
Nice. DIY in the ghetto. So that's the name, DIY in the ghetto. Thank you for the $2. Said, happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you for the support, man. We appreciate it. And Bazinga said, is your wife tearing the house apart looking for that coin yet?
Yeah.
If she's watching the stream right now, she probably is. But I think, today's Saturday, so Xander doesn't school. She might have actually heard it on stream, and she may be downstairs right now ripping the whole house apart. It's entirely possible, but I do not know. I do not have knowledge of that actually.
And if not, she should start. So Mrs. B, if you hear this, first one to it gets the.
If you find that gold Bitcoin, Mrs. B, you can have half of whatever's on it. Yeah, see, that's
because she gets half anyway. She's entitled to half no matter what.
Up, David, shut up. Come on, dude. You know how this works.
Never mind.
She ain't gonna come on.
Mrs. B, you could probably take him for more than half.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
You got lots of video footage that could probably get you a lot more than half.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I have to be with her forever, because if we ever go to court, they're literally just going to go, okay, Exhibit A, his YouTube channel. Exhibit B, his Twitch channel. Exhibit C, his Twitter feed. And I'm just going to be like, just give her everything. Just get
I don't even know what bank accounts we have. If we break up, I am basically going to be like truly a professional streamer. Please give me money. My wife got everything.
That's where it is with my lady handles all that shit too. Thankfully, though, some of it is tied to some of old accounts of mine. Like our main bank account is like attached to. I had a credit card through Chase or whatever, and so she can't get away with all of it, but enough of it that I'd basically start from nothing. All my Twitch money would be. I
basically feel that probably Jane probably deserves it. If it does all fall apart, I'm convinced that Jane probably has earned everything at this point.
I feel the same.
I put up with me for as long as she has. And this cannot be used as video proof in a legal battle.
Exactly. You have to make sure that you put that on there. Be like, disclaimer, this is not legally binding. These are the opinions on an entertainment show for entertainment value.
These are opinions of a man who's still currently in love with his wife. It cannot be used against me should things turn. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Out of control. Hey, Pup Shepherd, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, I don't drink, but if I were to buy some bottles to resell in 60 to 80 years from now, what kind of rise in value would it be? What would it rise in value to be worth it? I don't know.
Honestly, the stuff, when it comes to, in my opinion, and I'm no expert by any means, but what little I've seen and know about like alcohol collecting in that way, it would be expensive to get the stuff that would be expensive later.
And properly look after it too. I mean, because you've got to have special temperature stuff. Go buy some Magic the Gathering cards. Go invest in. Like I remember looking at Magic the Gathering cards, and there was one called the Black Lotus.
So that's the classic best.
The classic most expensive card there was, and I was like, oh my God, $9,000 for a card. What kind of an idiot would pay $9,000 for a card? Except now it's worth $190,000.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, or whatever the hell it is.
What kind of person pays almost $1 million for an old Charizard card?
Exactly. But people do, and so
it's honest in a way, to be kind of cynical or whatever. It's the same kind of scam that art collecting is. It's some nebulous somebody says that's worth money, and so then they put it up on auction and like, I want to have that for the bragging rights of having it, not because it's special in any real way. It's just because everybody else wants it and I want it more than them. Kind of.
Jim the Evo saying, don't get people to buy Magic the Gathering because you might as well be selling them crack. That's how we got started, right? So my son came home from a party and they'd all been given one pack of Magic the Gathering cards. And that was it.
Oh,
I was hooked.
that's it.
I was totally
the first
freaking
one's
hooked.
always free.
That's
how
it,
you get
man.
'em.
Come on, man.
Now
I
that
need
you
more
mention
mana,
it,
man. Give me my mana.
I think the little one, my little gal, she bought a bunch of Pokemon cards just a year or two ago because like everybody at school had Pokemon cards. She didn't really care. She just wanted to have something to say that she had some too. And I'll have to look. They're in a binder, just chilling in her room. She doesn't do anything with them, just sitting there. Not again. I don't think there'd be anything special in them. They're probably all just regular cards. But
dude, there's like we're pulling up cards that are worth $50 to $100 in some cases. Like Baz has a card that's worth $100 freaking dollars.
I have a friend that literally made his living for 2 years just traveling around the United States, participating in Magic the Gathering tournaments and selling cards between games.
Man.
Oh, sure.
Made his entire living, like a 6-figure income a year, just literally going and doing like trades and sales.
I wanted to turn my garage into the garage where you could go and buy like, you know, I could sell singles and, you know, the singles, them being the cards, not.
I was like, you're into human trafficking now?
Yes, human trafficking. I hear it's a great investment to make.
Hot singles in your area.
Oh my God. God, I have them all in my garage. And there goes another thing for the divorce. Escaping kids sleepover. What's this? Dr. Essex. Dr. Essex. Thank you, Dr. Essex.
Oh, Dr. Essex, thank you for the $5 Canadian. Said escaping kids sleepovers after bacon and crepes were made.
Oh,
smart.
Here for some testosterone. Ooh, I like that.
That is testosterone. That is good.
Get that testosterone. Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, I can feel my ponytail growing. Oh, I think my left nut just dropped.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenneth D, thank you for the $25. Said, hey guys, just stop by to send some love. Thank you, sir. He said, and to gloat that I was able to get a Sapphire Pulse 6800 last week. Wait, for MSRP? Said, hope everybody has a great day. Well, thank you. Did you get it for MSRP? Because that's all that matters. If you got it paying ridiculous prices, then nobody's jealous. But if you got it for MSRP, seriously, you're going to just cause like a rage fit over in chat. Because nobody can get a graphics card. Nobody can get a GPU. Nobody. Period. And
what happened with
MSRP? Unless you happen to work at a freaking company that has some kind of employee benefit or something. There's no other way you're freaking getting MSRP.
What bastard would do that?
I mean,
no effing way
that is in a unique position like that where they have access.
So your company has access.
It hasn't crossed my mind. Don't think it hasn't crossed my mind to make that phone call, but I haven't. I have held my mouth, and I'm not doing it.
To be fair here, yes, I could, through the company I work for, purchase either 3000 series video card or 5000 series AMD CPU. However, it has been strongly suggested and impressed upon us as employees that it would be uncouth to resell.
Yeah.
Don't come hitting me up thinking that I can get you cheap video cards, because that's not going to happen.
So what you're saying is you should sell all your graphics cards that you own outright and just upgrade right now.
It's crossed my mind.
Because you could literally sell whatever's in your computer right now for more than what the MSRP is of the top card that I'm sure TJ has.
I mean, if somebody wants to buy my 1080 Ti right now,
there you go.
I would be more than willing to sell my Zotac Blower 1080 Ti. It's white.
But would it be crazy to buy now? Like, would it be crazy expensive to buy something like that now?
I would make a reasonable sale. I wouldn't.
Right.
I would only very lightly gouge somebody. I wouldn't. Right. I wouldn't ask $1,200 for my. It'd be
like more like a slight scratching rather than a full gouge.
Yeah, like I would probably want at least what I paid for it.
And what did you pay for it?
Like $750 or so, I think.
The thing that drives me crazy though, $750 in like, I don't know, in a year's time, we'll buy you the latest 3080 or whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
You know,
provided crypto's still going strong.
I think it will. I'll pull up because I did buy it from Puget.
Jim the Evo's interested.
So I would pull up my original invoice and I'd charge probably a little more than what I paid for it.
Does Puget have like some kind of a pipeline for like, because their entire business runs on this, do they have
all OEMs do? I mean, all OEMs have preferred access to product.
And so a unique insight that I've come across, and I feel comfortable I can say this, is like people think it's production is the problem. And that is a piece of it. They are behind in actually manufacturing physical product.
Yeah.
But a bigger part of it is shipping. There are thousands of shipping containers just sitting there waiting to be moved, because at the beginning, when everything was shutting down, factories and stuff closing up for quarantining and whatnot, they pulled a lot of shipping boats, the ships, the container ships, into dry dock for maintenance and stuff. They're like, hey man, we can get a jump on our normal maintenance and things. Like, cool, we're not shipping a lot of stuff because nobody's manufacturing anything. But now that manufacturing is ramping up back to normal thing, it takes like a month to set up a ship like that and back into the water. And so it's containers are stacked. I just saw recently, I think it was like Glorious PC. It's like a company that makes like gaming mats and things like that. They have a bunch of product in shipping containers waiting to be unloaded in LA. Yeah. There's like, we're sorry, you guys, like we can't sell the product. It's there.
There was a ship that was 3 months.
Yeah.
The ship was literally just floating like an island for like 3 months before a port was free for it to come in and offload, when it was supposed to just come over and like be in within a week.
Yeah, man-made says we'll ship via planes. It's wicked inefficient to do that.
Yeah,
you can't fit as much product on an airplane for the cost of shipping via airplanes. Why do you think expedited shipping is so expensive? They throw it on an airplane and get it to you in 3 days, but it's expensive because there's very, very, very limited amount of space.
They're also forgetting that it's already loaded. It's already in containers and it's waiting in the yard to go on a ship, like to crack those containers and go through all the paperwork and everything to get all that out and then do the logistics to ship it. You might as well just charge 3 times as much for the card anyways.
To
if you want to invest right now, the best thing to do from an investment standpoint right now would be just to hold off on buying the stuff until the
but we're talking
bottleneck
at the end of this year, but maybe into next year before things really get back to normal. And that's just from like a shipping and logistics standpoint, like not even pricing and stuff. Like that's going to be weird for a while.
And by then, all the people who weren't nerds before will be back outside and won't want these things.
Yep.
Yeah, people always ask me, like, when is this going to end? When are we going to be able to get GPUs cheap again? And the truth is, unfortunately, as long as it's still profitable to crypto mine, you will be paying a premium. Unless you buy it, you win the lottery on Newegg or whatever to go buy one at MSRP, you will not get a card anywhere at MSRP unless this becomes unprofitable.
I do think they, I think EVGA has a good system. Like they'll let you know, like you sign up and they'll send you an email saying, hey, your slot came up. You have 8 hours to buy the card.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. You just wait for the signal and then you have a window to buy and it's at their price point. It's probably a little more than MSRP. They're probably trying to get a little bit of a premium, but it's definitely not black market style.
What happened with Linus Tech Tips? Wasn't he doing some kind of MSR?
He's still working on that. As far as I know, the verified gamer, the verified actual gamer in North America, the vagina thing he's doing. Yeah. They did that shit on purpose. God, yeah, verified hilarious. Actual gamer in North America.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God, that's great. That's great.
But yeah, I mean, good for them.
It's gonna be similar to the Newegg lottery, except for it might have more verification to it, but still, it's gonna be people are gonna be picked. There's gonna be more demand than supply. So but he is, the goal of it is, obviously gives his business exposure, and he's gonna get some graphics cards in people's hands for MSRP. So that's hell, win-win to me.
Good for him.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is everybody's like, oh, but we need to make sure these get in the hands of gamers. Well, here, let me tell you something. If you're hard on money and you can't pay your fucking bills, and you got a graphics card sitting in your computer that's worth 3 times more than what you paid for it, you're gonna just sell the fucking thing and put a piece of trash in there and get by and pay your bills. And come back and do it. So if you think everybody that walks in that's a gamer that buys a GPU isn't going to change their mind when it's worth 3 times what they paid for it.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Unless you're, if you're rich and have a bunch of money and you're privileged and stuff, you can afford to hang on to it at any price. But there's people that are going to value things differently because of how their life's doing. So just because somebody goes and buys a card with the intention of gaming on it, the second somebody says, oh, you can sell that for $2,000 and you only paid $800 for it, they're going to be like, you know what? If I have another old graphics card to throw in there, I can live with some low FPS for a while if it means that I can make $2,000 now and use that money for something I need.
Yeah. It was like, it's like housing in London. I remember there was there were these deals for, low income mortgages for people. They buy these little places in London and they could get a deal because of these incentives. But of course, then what happens? The market is huge. So they just turn them around and sell them for like 10 times what they were worth. And it just becomes speculative again. So it's,
That's why I said if you can't beat them, join them. Like the only way that you're going to actually get the GPU price down is if everybody is mining, everybody's buying GPUs and throwing them in, and when they're not gaming, they're mining on them to recoup their profit, and they're taking that because that profit comes from somewhere.
Yeah,
that profit has to come from somewhere. So if there's 1 million people mining, that it has to be split between 1 million people instead of 10,000 people mining, right?
Which is basically where we're going anyway, because everyone is getting into mining now.
Exactly. And it is. And it will slowly, you'll see it bringing profitability down. You'll see some graphics cards actually becoming more reasonably priced. But as long as it's profitable, you're always going to have the people that do it. Like you choosing not to do it is not going to change that.
Nope.
Like the whole argument and that's what, and I see this so much. It's like, oh, I'm just going to refuse to do crypto because if enough of us, don't do it, then it's going to just die. And it's like, yeah, but what you don't realize is you're all saying publicly you're not doing it, but like 90% of the people saying publicly they're not doing it are doing it because it's profitable and because it makes them money, and that's how humans work.
It's the same words as saying, oh, I'm not going to sell my graphics card because I don't want to participate in scalping. It's like, you might not, but somebody else is gonna.
Somebody always will. So
your moral high ground isn't stopping the problem.
Yeah, and I'm not shaming anybody for not doing it. Like if you don't like crypto or you don't like the idea of it, or you don't get it or whatever, then don't mess with it. But what I'm saying is if you're sitting there complaining, saying, oh, I hate crypto and it's the worst thing on earth, blah, blah, blah. No, there's a lot of people that like crypto. That's why crypto keeps going and keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, is because it does have a lot of utility to it. It's not just trading cards. It's actually evolved way beyond that. It's an entire economic system that's built on the back of
trading cards.
Huh? Oh, sorry. That wasn't a dig. That wasn't a dig, dude. I take it back a little bit. Magic the Gathering excluded and Lego mini action figures excluded. But I
gotta be the only idiot doing that at this point,
dude. But that's the funny thing is, like, it's the things that you do that nobody else is going to do that are going to become the most popular and profitable. Because if you do the same thing everybody else is doing, eventually it does get diluted. The same thing will happen with cryptocurrency. Once everybody's on board, you're going to see crypto start stabilizing, and then it'll become more like a fiat currency where it just goes up a little and goes down a little, but it holds stable. It's still in the growth phase, and it's going to be in the growth phase for a long time until everybody freaking decides to mine. So if you want your GPU prices to go down, you need to freaking hit the button. If it's not profitable, don't do it. If your power costs more than what you're going to make from the graphics card, absolutely don't do it. If the temperature in your house is 150 degrees, don't do it. There's time, but if it's profitable for you to do so, you participating in this will ultimately bring it stability faster and bring the profitability down more, which means now the return on investment for a graphics card is a year instead of 6 months. And now the guys that are running crypto mines economically can only pay half what that card is worth today.
Right.
And that means you as a gamer also can get a graphics card for half what they're selling it for today. So just keep that in mind. The way to fix this isn't to keep backing away from it and ignore it. It's like, no, pick up a flamethrower and let's get this thing on fire even faster and faster and faster. And yeah, there's a lot of crypto miners out there that'll be pissed that I'm even saying this. Like, I know there will be. Like my crypto friends will probably message me and be like, what the fuck, Jerry? Why are you saying this? Because it's profitable for them because they don't want everybody doing it. Because if everybody does, just like with content creation, if everybody does the same thing you're doing on your YouTube channel, you're not going to get as many views because there's only a finite number of people that can watch that video, right? They have an attention bandwidth. If everybody's making that video and you get buried in the sea of results, you're not going to be seen. That's why everybody does clickbait. That's why all the popular channels change their titles every day. Have you noticed that? That's the new trend on YouTube. Is people just change the titles of their videos every single day and change the thumbnail every single day. These big channels.
No.
They just pay people to do it. So I'll go through my feed every day and I'll end up watching the same video like 3 times and hitting stop because
that's why I keep seeing stuff that I've already seen before.
Yep. And it's gaming the algorithm because the algorithm, each time you change the name and you change the thumbnail on the video, it basically re-indexes it again. So it's everybody just doing this, dog piling on top during primetime hours.
Of course.
And it's the same. Like I saw one video yesterday from I think was it Stradman? I think it was. I watch his stuff or whatever, and it's like one video is like, oh man, I blew up my Lambo, or you won't believe what I did to my Lambo, and oh my god, in the desert this happened to my car. All clickbaity titles, but it was like 3 titles in 3 days and like 3 different thumbnails on the same video. I'm not 100% sure if it was Stradman, but it was one of the car channels I watch. And I clicked on it each time because I was like, oh man, they got a new video out already. Nope, it was the same video that was 3 days old. They just keep changing the title because as soon as they get that drop off, they go back and change the title and the thumbnail again to get another blip and another blip and another blip. And everybody's figured that out. And it used to be only a couple people did it. Now everybody's doing it because it's such a, but as soon as everybody starts doing that, and it's like literally, and it'll cascade.
And the system will change. They'll have an algorithm to get rid of it.
Exactly. As soon as they do that, then YouTube's going to say, okay, we're going to stop promoting people that change their titles and thumbnails. Like let's just kill that algorithm. And then people will just stop doing it and it'll die off like everything else. It's because everybody tries to find an edge. But as soon as you find that edge, other people will take notice eventually of that edge and they will use it themselves. And crypto is no
your
different.
best edge is just content. It's just make content. Just make stuff. Yeah. Like if you're doing this, it's the first thing that they teach you in all these YouTube course things. I did the certified partner thing when they first came out, and the big thing was just consistently. If you're out there consistently making stuff, then you eventually people find you, and that's
honestly that's the trick for either. I mean, whatever platform you're on and stuff, is consistency. Just because, like, it's I guess it's just a numbers game, right? You'll eventually some piece of content you make is going to hit the right moment in the right.
You're going to have tons of content that they can go to along that's associated with that.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. I mean, I get the same thing. I get questions like how to become an actor, how do you become a writer, how do you,
right.
And how do you how do you approach exercise? It's like, you just freaking do it.
Just do it.
I mean, the reality is like the cold hard facts are like, you want to write, you have to write, you want to act, you got to figure out how to act. You're not gaming anything. I mean, you can try and some things work, some things don't, but the reality is just do the work.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's similar to like investing, like stocks and stuff. You've got those people who make, day traders, right? Who are like, and it's similar to just putting out a million, Instagram stories all day, all the time. Right. You're going to have some that hit off, some that don't. The same with like YouTube. Maybe you put up 5 videos a day or something or whatever, something ridiculous.
I can't get 5 out of a year.
Right. Well, it comes down to just eventually it's a matter of just scale, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have some good ones, you're going to have some bad ones, and hopefully the good ones outweigh the bad ones and you make a profit. And that's the same way with content. You just make content, make it all the time, constantly, and some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be bad. You'll get better, and then you'll consistently do better, and
the more unique the better. That's the thing too with content, is like try to link it to something that's relevant that people are searching for right now, but then go a complete unique direction with it so that nobody else is doing. They will eventually do it though.
I'd say even chasing what's popular is hard. And will burn you out. I say just stick to what you want to talk about, what you're
because then you're getting joy out of it as well.
Because it's gonna suck at first, right? It's good. Nobody's gonna watch your shit. They're gonna tell you you're bad. You're not. You're just gonna blah blah blah. But if you're having a good time creating the content, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Barnacules, you were talking about this before as well, where it's like, if you want to, you could be constantly like, you just add Microsoft to the front of every single thing you do.
You can play that.
For me, it's
I
Stargate.
If
I put Stargate on it, automatically, you're going to get a number of people.
But that's boring.
Of my top 10 videos, 5 of them are Microsoft, right? Have Microsoft in the title or something to do with Windows 10.
Yeah.
But the thing is, anytime you do something successful, like I said, other people will mimic it, right? And so a good example, this is a channel that I watch that I absolutely love to this day. And again, personality is the thing that people can't duplicate. They can't, like, no matter how much, if somebody feels connected to you and your delivery and likes what you do, like Cody's Lab. Cody's Lab's production has never gotten any better. His videos are the same that he's always been doing, but I connect with him because I like the character. I like Cody. And so that's something that people can't, but everything else can be duplicated. Like Fish Whisperer is a channel I love. If you've ever seen the Fish Whisperer, he's a guy that basically just goes out and feeds fish to like his turtles in a pond. That's the whole video. He says shad 5,000 times every video as he's feeding these little shad fish to turtles. And then he talks about the names he gives them and stuff. And it's like, it's a 7 to 10 minute long video every day. He releases one of these. Well, when I started watching him about 3 or 4 years ago, his videos were getting between 17 and 78 million views per episode. 78 million, the Fish Whisperer. 78 million. If he monetized that video 3 years ago at a $12 CPM, that is $1 million a day. Well, per episode. I won't say per day because it took years to get to the 78 million. But still, think about how much money that is per video and just AdSense revenue. Millions of dollars. So this guy literally just makes videos where all he does, he just goes out. He rarely shows his face on camera. He just feeds his fish to turtles. Every video is exactly the same. And
catfish.
And he gets millions of views, but everybody has noticed now over the last 3 years.
Doing fish ones.
Now you see 1 million channels that are trying to parrot him, and his views are starting to go down. I mean, he still has insane views. I mean, he still gets over 1 million per video, but his views are nowhere near where they were 3 years ago because he was like the only dude on YouTube that was like doing this kind of video. Now there are 1 million copycat channels that are like, oh, today we're going outside to feed the fish. Oh, today we're going outside to feed the turtles.
Strange parts. I've seen a whole bunch of stuff now being recommended to me about the markets in China.
Because if you have 78 million people watching a video and you look at that video and you're like 78 million views, you're like, I could do that. And then you go do that. And then at the first, 1,000 people that do that succeed. And then it floods the market. And then the only person succeeding is the person who originally did it. And a couple of people at the top that duplicated them. And then the rest of them just
dude, I want to build a giant pond for monster fish.
Dude, it is the greatest channel ever. It's just a chill channel. It's like if you want to sit down and watch a YouTube video that doesn't get you angry, it's just chill. And it's just some dude feeding his turtles, man.
But that guy who's renovating the old building. Have you seen that one where the guy's got an old like warehouse space and he's like turning it into his workshop?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh my God. I could watch that I don't know what it was.
I think that's actually really smart.
Find it.
That's really smart content, and Pope Shepherd actually kind of touched on this in his super chat here. He says, "I make interviews for YouTube. I found it's easier to document than create kink education videos. A friend of mine, not me, doing it about 500 videos, but that's it, right? It is documenting, not creating.
And the problem with that is YouTube. That's another thing that you have to navigate these days. Is YouTube isn't going to monetize any content with the word kink in it. Like they're not going to monetize. They're not going to send any views your ways or give you SEO if you say anything in it about like ponies and spanking other adults. Like it just isn't right. It's like this every time we do this TikTok every week, it either gets demonetized or it gets shadow banned and doesn't show up in the listings when you do a search for it. People message me and go, "Oh, why didn't you do a TikTok this week?" And I go do a search and I can't find the goddamn thing in an incognito window. And it's because sometimes we say things, we cuss too much, or we say something of a sexual nature, or we use a word that's on their shadow ban list, and the episode gets hidden. And that's part of the game. Is you have to know how to create. If your goal is just views and money, you have to make compelling content that most people are searching for, that not a lot of other people are doing, and it doesn't contain anything that would affect YouTube's like view of your channel or your video. And that's really hard to do. That is not a real so the formula is like if you're building a business, then get the right people involved, get producers, write scripts, do everything to make that perfect content that gets the largest demographic, or just keep making videos that are you and get the smaller audience that focuses on your personality like I do, that hang around, and you just got a really stable audience. And I like that.
Oh, here's the guy. I found the guy. I'll put him in the chat.
I really think that's the smart play, Jerry. What you just hit on too is like, don't chase the popularity, the big numbers, the money, right? It's in my opinion, it's much more satisfying knowing that, as an example, in 2020, I barely streamed. I maybe did a half a dozen streams because I normally did like driving streams to work, like my commute stuff. And then
that's smart.
Occasionally, because what else am I doing, right? I put my phone in the corner and I just drive to work. Hadn't done hardly any content all of 2020, and the very first stream I did, once like we were done moving into the house and stuff and everything was set and ready to go, 25 years, like my whole the core group of people were there for me, right? And it's because that's the community that I built, right? It wasn't just flash in the pan stuff. These were people who like genuinely cared about me as a person and as a content creator.
Well, it's like the burn and learns for me. I'm amazed that people watch that. I do it purely to guilt myself into exercising, but for some reason it's become like a little forum for chatting now.
I dig it. Honestly, the commute streams were really cool because it was just there wasn't any real structure to it. It was just like stream of consciousness stuff. I would just drive to work and talk to the chat, and occasionally, man, somebody we'd hit a topic and I'd go on a rant, and it's like a 40-minute drive or so. So like, what else I'm talking to myself in the car anyway, or just spacing out.
Yeah, exactly.
So might as well have 10 or 12 other people along for the ride. Like,
but here's the problem: as soon as you have an accident, your numbers will go through the roof. And then what are you going to do? Have an accident every time you go home from? I mean, like, but that's literally what these kids are getting themselves into, right?
Yeah.
Like what are the most extreme things they can do to get themselves attention? And of course, you can't sustain.
And that's so dangerous, though. Like you got that couple. There was a boyfriend girlfriend that shot the girl. Shot her boyfriend, thinking they could blast. They saw a video that it won't go through a phone book. Yeah. And then that's like Darwinism right there. Well, but she's like, I did it because I thought we'd go viral. Like, I'm just trying to
and you did. Well done. You also went to jail.
Possible, right? And I try and tell the girls too. In particular, the little one, my intern, she does these TikTok videos and stuff and won't post them because she's like, oh, it's not very good. I go, that's not the point. Like, just put it out there. Oh, I didn't 4 likes, 8 likes, whatever. Like, that's great. I just recently saw something on Reddit about like how to feel about like your numbers and stuff. And the guy, I guess, kind of hit on an interesting fact. I guess he noticed that, like, look at the big streamers, right? You see people with 30,000 viewers or whatever, right? Compare that live viewership to their follower count. You'll find that it's within maybe 1 to 5% of their follower count. Now take that ratio and look at your numbers. If you have 1,500 followers and you're getting 5 viewers, you're doing better than from a mathematics statistics standpoint. You're doing better than those big guys. I mean, I don't know what my follower count is, but I bet I'm doing 10% because I routinely have between 10 to 20 viewers, and I probably have maybe 1,500 followers on Twitch. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. But
I'm terrible. Baz keeps getting me to look at them, and I don't. A lot of them, I just, otherwise I feel like I'm like so obsessive about this stuff. I would just be focused on it the whole time. I can't even like.
I have two just shy. It says 1.9K followers, and my last stream was Thursday night, and it was just talk. We just chatted for 2 hours, and I think I peaked at 20 something viewers. That's 10%. 10% of my followers were watching me. That's amazing.
Well, and those are pure numbers, right? Yeah. I mean, I think if you're gaming the system, you're getting like, Twitter is a perfect example for me. Like, so I've got like, I don't know what I got. I think it's like 100 or something, like actual like followers or something, 100,000. And is it 100,000 or 90,000? I can't remember what now. But anyways, point being is the actual response rate on it is like 1% maybe,
which is outstanding.
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, like I think about my job, my social media stuff, right? I get bummed out. I look at my analytics for the company, right? And I'll see like 0.7% click through rate or a 1.23% like engagement. And I'm like, man, that sucks. Like I get down about it. But then I have to remember, like, a bunch of the followers that we have are fake from a contest that we ran years ago. And so it isn't, it's about quality, right? Not quantity in a big way.
That's why the marketers were all looking for these what are they called? Micro influencers.
Oh yeah.
Because the people who I converse with on these things are people who actually, share opinions on this stuff and are able to, will buy stuff. I mean, frankly, people will follow up on stuff that I've talked about and go and buy them, which is amazing to me. Like, it's fantastic. I wish I could monetize it somehow, but it's just that to me, the community is almost more important.
And it should be. And I definitely, I like that.
You got it?
No, I wish.
Oh.
I found these. I thought I knew where they were, but I did find some Bitcoins. These are the 3D printed metal ones that I made.
Nice.
So I found some of the metal ones. So I don't know. I'm gonna put those on my store and sell them or NFT.
Wait, how did you, sir? You 3D, was it like it's the filament that's doped with metal of some sort?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
This is called bronze fill, and then I think this is copper, and you can actually polish it. But
that's on the deposition ones.
Yeah, no. This is on a regular FDM desktop printer, and it's very metallic. Like when you,
well, maybe I could do a few of those.
Like plastic don't sound like that, and they're heavy. They feel like they have the weight of a metal coin because it's 80% metal and 20% plastic binder. Sweet. So it's neat filament. It does tear up your printer though. You need to make sure you have a tool steel nozzle or a ruby nozzle because it'll take a brass nozzle and printing like 3 of these will eat your nozzle up to like a 0.8 diameter. It's crazy.
Nice.
It's very, very. It's basically like running sand through your nozzle. So,
that makes sense. So wait a second, but if you get the right nozzle, it's okay, or you still have to get through them.
No, you just need the right nozzle. They're cheap. You can get a tool steel nozzle for like $10, $15.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, I was gone so long, guys. I was having an epiphany while I was downstairs taking a little turbo squat, and I was like, "Do you know where the coins are?" And I went out into my garage, and I was like, "Oh my god, I found it!" And then I was like, I saw the Bitcoin logo. And I was like, yes, those are my NFTs.
I'm a rich man.
And I was like, I picked them up and I was like, no, these are the ones I 3D printed. Damn it. So
but you could
it's
sell
still,
them now each for $1,000 a pop, and
yeah. Is anybody want to buy $1,000 semi-metallic Bitcoin that doesn't have an NFC in it?
Probably scam some people on eBay to say, "Hey, I'm selling one Bitcoin.
One Bitcoin.
There you go.
Bitcoin.
Unfortunately, I have
Bitcoin.
ethics. I have I'd be a millionaire if I wasn't so damn
I'd be
ethical.
so rich if we had no ethics.
It's so true. So true.
Despite my
Oh shoot! I will have no family if I don't leave soon. Shoot, you know what?
Uh-oh.
I didn't realize it was. I didn't realize it was so late.
Busted.
I will go.
Okay. GTFO.
Yeah, sorry.
Buddy.
It's like 3:15 here now, right? Is that if I got it right?
Just about. Yeah.
I should go. Thank you.
Bye.
As always, like a total highlight of my week.
It's always good having you, David. We appreciate you taking the time, bro.
Thank you all. Make sure.
And if I find that coin, I'll send you $20. I'll PayPal you $20 if I find that coin. That's how much I love you. So
$20K, right? We're talking.
I'm okay. How about we in the middle, like $2,000? How about $2,000?
Like 20 kroner? K kroner, right?
All right, take it easy.
Thank you
David.
much. Talk soon.
Get out. Oh my God.
That's so. VR Gimp was just saying. So many pictures of video cards are selling on eBay. It's sad. I have two 3090 Founders Edition boxes that I have. I intended to actually post them on eBay to hopefully get bots to buy them from me for MSRP.
That's hilarious. Are people doing that? Like seeding the bots with like
when the scalping thing was really, well, it's still really bad, but like early on, people were deliberately like, and it'd be in the description like, hey, this is just a box. I've only posted this to try and get the bots to buy this thing, blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of working. So,
Krillin said, I will buy one of those Bitcoins for cost plus shipping from you off your store. Well, what's cost? What do you mean cost?
What did it cost you?
Because I feel like to make this cost like $500 because I had to print it and then I had to polish it over 24 hours in a rock tumbler and then I had to store it. I had to store it in my garage for like 5 years. So I got to charge you the storage fee at, the $20 a month, it's,
I should do that. I should do that today. I'll take some pictures, and what I need though is good copy, right? Good ad copy on the listing, so that the bots will snatch it up.
Dude, that would be funny though. The only problem is like once they get it, they're just gonna go back and contest it, and PayPal's gonna give them their money back.
Would they?
Yeah,
the bots would the bot people do that?
They would. They absolutely would. Yeah, the problem is like unless you're lucky enough to get snatched up by one that's like literally dealing in like thousands of them a week or something like that. Right. But if you get somebody who's literally just buying like 10 or 20 a week and selling them, he's going to notice when he doesn't get a card he paid like $1,000 for, and then he's going to send a picture or whatever to you. And the thing about eBay is they always side with the buyer, not the seller.
I know.
So you basically lose your money and then you're out the shipping and you sent them the box. And the problem is like it would stand up. Because they'd go, oh, we found that this was a misleading thing or whatever.
It's not. Review. I was very clear that this is a box.
So if you did that, you might actually be able to like appeal it and like go back and forth a little bit, and you may actually like win it. But eBay probably is going to look at it and go, oh, we see that he made a mistake or whatever. We're going to go ahead here. We'll just give you your money back and he'll send you your box back. How about that? They'll do some stuff like that because otherwise, like everybody would be doing that like successfully if that was the case. Because I have no ethical problem with like ripping off the bots, like right. the bots and the scalpers that are literally just like screwing over everybody. It's like, I have no problem because they know what they're getting into too. Like a part of doing business for them is knowing that the scammer does get scammed a lot of the time. So I have no problem with that. So so I would try it. I mean, honestly, worst case scenario, you're out shipping and handling.
Yeah.
So and plus it'd be a great story. Imagine making a video of you like shipping somebody a box and then they reply back to you and then like doing a whole video on the back and forth. Be like, dude, it clearly says in the auction, this is just a box.
I mean, yeah, that's why you don't let a bot buy based off keyword searches.
And you just keep putting stuff in there, like in the thing, like, oh, this card is really good at mining that used to be in this box, but it is not in this box anymore. It is the card that was in this box once is great for mining Ethereum, but just remind them, it is not in the box. This is for a box only. And if you did that, then I think that might actually stand up if they appeal it because they got exactly what you sold them. And you could argue that it's a highly collectible box. Like people are trying to get these boxes so they can put cards in them and resell them at a higher value. So just like people do with consoles and stuff like that. So you could probably argue that, but I guarantee you they're going to come back swinging and do everything they can to try to like reverse it.
Yeah.
It would be fun to put them through that pain though. That'd be worth like the $20 of shipping and handling just to put just to put a fucking scalper through that pain of just going and buying your MSRP box,
I love it.
That's hilarious. I don't know how many bots are still skulking on eBay though, because I think it was one of those things where it got saturated, right? It got saturated to the point where it's like now eBay's done some things and the bots aren't nearly as successful. I know the big problem with like Newegg and their lottery system is people are just still the average person that you pick to get a card. Once they get it for MSRP and they realize they can sell it for 2 or 3 times as much, they usually do. So you end up a high percentage of those people that are buying it because they want a gaming card. Once they realize, whoa, I actually got one at MSRP. They're already looking to sell it. Hell, even my neighbor was like, he got an extra card and he didn't need it. And he's like, oh, I'm not returning it to Newegg. Like, no way in hell. Like, he's like, I'm not returning this fucking thing. Like he ended up getting 2 because he ordered one and he knew that he probably wouldn't get them both. And he ended up getting them both. He just lucked out and he got them both. And he's like, fuck it, sell that shit. And he sold it to a guy locally here for like twice what he paid for it and basically got a free graphics card out of the deal. So it's like that whole, all these systems that people are putting in place to try to get cards in the hands of gamers, it won't work because the gamers themselves in many cases just can't resist selling it for the profit or mining on it. You can't afford to unless you have like just fucking shitloads of money, which then the price of the graphics card really just becomes, an ethical issue to you. Like, you don't care, you can afford it. You're going to be somebody who's probably somewhat hurting for money or wants the money. And you're going to be like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to sell it and not tell anybody on the internet. Yeah. Difference is I tell people and I catch shit for it. My God, do I catch shit for it, but I don't care. I've always been honest with everything I do. I can back up what I did. Same thing with Nice Hash. People are like, fuck that, Linus just got taken down. Your channel's going to die for promoting Nice Hash. No, fuck you. I've used Nice Hash for like 3 years. They've always paid on time. It's been fine. I'm not going to feed into your like little drama bullshit. Like, fuck you. Like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
That was a weird trip thing that Linus catching all kind of shit for that sponsored video. Like, come on. Yeah, he's been catching a lot of shit lately. Like the Raid Shadow Legends thing. I joked but a lot of the creators that I watch do Raid Shadow Legends just because I think that they're a scam ass company and everything. That's why they have so much money to pay creators to run their scam ass ads. It's crossed my mind. Through Stream Elements, there's like a sponsor thing where if you got to stream for 4 hours and two of it has to be gameplay or something like that, and if you reach certain goal it's like $600. I'm like, fuck, hey man, if you see somebody playing Raid Shadow Legends on Twitch, it is 100% a sponsored video. It's the thing is, I feel like I have the community where like, look guys, I need 10 of you to download and play this game during this 4 hours, like please help me make $600, and they probably do it. Just here, look, go make a fake email real quick, sign up for the game, play with me for while we're doing this, and then, or like, I'd be like, tomorrow this is what we're gonna do. Don't do that during the sponsored part, of course, because they'll look at you. But like, hey, look, guys, tomorrow this is what I'm doing, or do it on Twitter. Like, hey, I need 10 of you guys to show up tomorrow and download and play this game with me so I can make some bucks. So fuck it. Because if you're just a Twitch viewer and not a content creator, we actually have a dashboard that pops up. This says these are the deals that are available to you, because Twitch is basically being like the marketing middleman. Like on YouTube, you'd have a marketing company contact you. The ones through the Twitch dashboard are awful nowadays. They are. Dude, which one were you talking about? What deal were you talking about there? Through Stream Elements. Oh, Stream Elements is doing it. Okay, that's what. Yeah, because I was gonna say the Twitch ones are usually a ripoff. Like the Raid Shadow Legends, like we'll pay up to $300 if you have 500 concurrent viewers for 2 hours of playing our game. It's like fuck you. It used to be pretty decent. Like I think I got like Odyssey. I got a couple games for free, and then I got paid like $20 for playing them because of it, through the bounty board. But now it's like, I streamed Outward for an hour. I got a key for it, and I got $5 for that. And then I streamed Assassin's Creed Odyssey for an hour or whatever. And I got $16. And I was like, dude, I was going to buy the game and play it anyway. So like, what the fuck? But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have to, what is this? Stream Blade and Soul Revolution by Netmarble for 40 minutes straight with an average of 17 concurrent viewers, and I'll get $6. Jesus. That's dumb. Yeah. Like you get that by just pushing the ad button like twice. The right? run ad every hour. Whatever. They used to be, and the Assassin's Creed one, I could have made more, but I only hit 94% of the goal. I think I was supposed to have I don't know, probably 20 viewers or something, and I would have gotten more. But yeah, the Twitch bounty board stuff is pretty trash.
Yeah, like look, here, I'll see what they're offering me right now. I'm curious. I never check it because I won't do it. I refuse to do it.
You'll probably get better payouts because you have better viewership.
Yeah, no, they offer me based on like 500 concurrent viewers is basically what they offer me. So let me see, where is it?
You probably get
I don't look at it. What is it like? Bounty? Oh, it's the bounty board. Okay,
on your dashboard. Yeah, go to your channel.
Okay, so bounty board said if I stream Blade and Souls Revolution for 40 minutes, I get $330
for 40 how minutes. Many? For how many people?
Oh, let me uncompress it here. Okay, so I have to have where the hell are the requirements? Oh, here we go. So at any point during your stream session, just stream Revolution for 40 straight minutes with an average of 82 concurrent viewers. I'd blow that out of the water.
Easy. Dude, for 40 minutes during one of your jibber jabber streams? Dude, and you'd get how much?
$330.
Dude.
And it says if you don't hear, I won't do it though. I welcome other people to do, but I won't do it. I've left $500,000 on the table last year and made like a teacher's salary just because I don't do this shit. It's not that I think it's bad. It's just for me, it's so shallow and I don't like it. I can't present as me. Well, I can't be me when this shit happens.
For you, I feel like it would cheapen your brand in a sense.
And I couldn't be myself. Like I can't be streaming this and just be like swearing like every third word and shit.
They don't check that hard. Like I played
it said no needless. Okay, so these are the requirements. You can't badmouth the content.
Good criticism is okay, but you can't just be like, oh, this fucking sucks, neener.
And then it says I must engage my community on the content specifically.
Sure.
I must turn on store past broadcast and offer this. That's going to happen anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And then it says this bounty will be held in the queue for 5 days and it'll expire if the broader bounty campaign is ending. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only bounty that's available right now. Usually there's a Raid Shadow Legends, but that must have ended because I had a Raid Shadow Legends one that was like $700 or $800, but you had to have 400 concurrent.
Jeez.
For that one. It was way bigger. But I'm like, dude, like I mean, I get it. People make a living, they do the thing, right? And people watch them because they like the personality and they get advertisement for their game in exchange for money. I understand how advertisement works. Like, I mean, for years, I'd have, some sponsors at the beginning of my videos, like many of them, but I never liked it. So I was one of those people. It's like, fuck it. I'll just rely on the goodness of strangers and live a meager life. And it's just how it is. I would
love to have a consistent corporate sponsor. Like I would look, Thermaltake gets a lot of shit for some of their like rip-off product or whatever, but they do make a good product too. Like they're not trying to be Lee and Lee, they know where they sit on the hierarchy of things and they're not trying to fake it. But like I really, really am interested in building in this box. This case is really cool looking. I want to build in this. I had a great time talking with their product manager guy, and and that's why I'm sweating trying to make content with this thing because like I want to have a good relationship with these guys.
Yeah,
I would love to have a consistent thing with somebody. There are a good number of brands that I would love to work with. I just don't know how to ask. Like I don't know how to ask.
I mean, the funny thing is, it's not complicated. Like these companies are used to just people being blunt.
Yeah.
Like you just send them a message and say, here's my ID. Here's my projections for viewership. Here's why I think it's beneficial for you. Here's why it's beneficial for me. And then let them make the call.
Yeah.
And just know that they're going to come back and lowball you. So make sure that you add on like 20% because they're going to try to take that off the top, whether you agree to it or not. So just give them that wiggle room so that they can do that and feel like they got you cheap.
I ought to reach out to that guy again and say, hey, look, man, I'm having trouble with parts. Like could you I know you guys gave me this case and this cooler. I was like, could you shoot me some RAM too? And then I can find motherboard and CPU. I have everything else essentially.
The other thing too is you do multiples. You reach out to Corsair or some other company that made Intel and just say, hey guys, I'm putting together a video that I want to do. Here's my projected audience. Here's my numbers on my live stream or whatever that I'm doing. Here's my social media analytics and be like, this is what I'm looking for. And if worst case scenario, they'd probably even discount it. Like if they won't give it to you outright, they'll probably give it to you for at least cost.
I ought to reach out to, damn it. I'm so bad. This is embarrassing. The gal, your friend at AMD. I did a panel with her once with Trofman fucking Tim.
Actually, I did a PC build with that guy. I remember I did a live PC build with Hobbs with that guy.
You and me did. It was me, Hobbs, and
yeah,
Tim,
me and Hobbs were together,
Timothy,
and you were on the other team, right?
the French guy. Yeah.
And that was the one where like Truffman got all pissed at me and made me fucking want to deck him because he was like,
so
"Don't
weird.
put tape on my limited edition case or whatever." I was so pissed at him.
Yeah,
He's
that was
apologized for that since then, so it's water under the bridge. But boy, man,
Leslie,
if you guys were watching that build off and you wondered where I went from being like really happy to I was ready to fucking throw that guy out the door. I was ready to throw him out the door after the shit he came over and whispered in my ear during a live build. I was like, dude, you done fucked up, and he knew it too.
Not Lisa Sue. She's the boss. She's CEO of AMD. Like, not her. Leslie's the one I was thinking of. Your friend at AMD. She's community manager or something like that. I bet she could hook me up with the.
Yeah. That's why me personally, I don't do a lot of sponsored content. Like the only exception, I'll do affiliates because affiliates are easy, right? If you're using their product, you give it, you're already talking about it. So just give them a link. It's just easy.
Yeah.
But I don't sign contracts anymore because when you sign a contract, you basically have to let that company bend you over and tell you what to say and what to do. And you have to agree to their terms. And they got a legal team that can sue you. If you don't sign any contract, they can call you and be like, "Oh, I didn't like what you said in your video," and be like, "Well, fuck off." Be like, your product should have been better. like it's one of those things where, and I'm really fair. If you guys watch my review videos, I've always been insanely fair. If a product is a real piece of shit and it's something that a company sent to me, I do everything in my power to work with that company to try to resolve it. The only time I ever put their product on blast is if I'm like, the fucking thing does not work at all, and you guys are basically telling me to lie to my audience so that you can fix it later. No, that's no bueno. Like, I'm gonna fucking out you. And I've only ever had to do that to like 2 companies, right? Robo 3D was one of them, and I can't even remember what the other one was. Oh yeah, it was Robo 3D, and it was Loot Crate. I was like, Loot Crate was like, "Oh, you need to shit all over Nerdblock, our competitor, and tell them how inferior their product is." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude!" Like, I've been unboxing Nerdblocks and I love them, man. I've been doing it forever.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I never had a contract with Nerdblock. All they did was just send me the subscription. Like, like literally sent me a box every month for my son, and I'd unbox it. And Loot Crate's like, "We will pay you $90,000 if you spend a year shitting all over Nerdblock and saying why it's inferior because you have all of Nerdblock's audience." Like, people bought Nerdblocks because of my videos because they got like hundreds of thousands of views. No other Nerdblock videos did at the time. And Loot Crate's like, "Oh, we want you to make videos now basically saying why Loot Crate's so much better and you wished you had to change sooner." And I'm like, "Nope, fuck you guys. Get out of here with your $90,000. I don't want it."
Well, and that's just shitty. That's just a shitty angle to come from a marketing department. Like,
it's pretty rare.
You don't market yourself in a way that you don't want to tear other people down,
right?
To make yourself look good.
Exactly.
That's bully tactics.
And Robo 3D sent me 3 fucking printers. I know I reiterated this story to death, but they sent me 3 printers. The first one didn't work out of box. The second one had the plugs all plugged in backwards, so the stepper motors were running in like reverse. And then the third one that they sent me actually had a damaged lead screw in it. So 3 printers that were cherry picked to send to a reviewer all had massive problems. And this is a product that is ready for production. Like, it's in the box with the new model number on it and everything. And you know what the company told me after a week of fucking with all these printers? And finally I got one working. After a week of piecing it together, I said, okay, I'm going to make the video of the review, but I'm going to tell everybody every problem I encountered and how they can easily fix it, which is a good thing. That's what I did for their first printer. And they're like, "Oh, we think that sends the wrong message, and and we're going to fix this before we ship it out to customers." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's in the retail packaging. Are you going to take every one out of the box that's shipped over here from China and fix all the problems with it?" And he's like, "Oh no, we didn't send you a retail." Even though I reiterated, I only review retail things. They're like, "Well, we didn't send you retail printers. These are actually still pre-production." I'm like, "Oh, but they're in retail boxes and they're packaged with the manuals and everything." No, you're full of shit. Right. And then they're like, "Send the printers back. We don't want to work with you anymore." I was like, "Oh, I'll send the printers back. You're going to send me prepaid fucking in 24 hours, or I'm going to do a video." I said, "I'm going to do a video on the internet of these being picked up by the garbage man tomorrow in the morning at my curbside if you do not," because they wanted me to pay for shipping to send 3 printers back to them. And I said, "No, you have 24 hours. And within like 15 minutes, I had the shipping labels. And then the company CEO called me after all the shit talking he did. He's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." I just hung up on him. Said, "Don't ever fucking talk to me again, Braden, you piece of shit." And then, and then I went to Midwest Rep Rap Festival, and the fucker like pulls me into a hug as I'm walking by his booth. "Jerry, I'm really sorry. We got off on the wrong foot." He's like, "Dude," and this is their next generation after the one I already shit on. He's like, "Dude, we took all your feedback. We took it to heart. We fixed our printer and everything." I said, "Dude," I said, "actions speak louder than words." I said, "Let's see it. Let's see if you've really fucking changed." "No, we have." He's like, we should do something. I was like, nope, not until I see what happens. They shipped the printer. They ripped off every motherfucker that ever got an R2 Plus, including 3D Printing Nerd. They literally had one like hand white glove delivered to his house, and it was still fucking broken on the third one. Same experience I had with the previous generation. They just sell fucking garbage, and they can't even bother to spend $10 for quality control on a printer they're selling for like $800. So it's rare that I have to go after a company like that. But no, I wasn't about to shut my mouth. And then when I opened my mouth, it opened the floodgates for everybody else because they felt like they could talk then.
Yeah. So thankfully, I've only done one like sort of.
Don't buy Robo 3D, by the way, if it's TLDR.
Product review. It was for a company called Tunai. They make like headphones and little wireless gadgets and stuff, and it was great. It was a great experience. I took a similar angle like you do, right? I was like, look, I'm willing to do this, but you can't like tell me what to say, right? Like, and they gave me like no guidelines other than show our logo on your stream, every time you stream for X amount of streams.
Yeah.
You got to do like a certain number of Instagram posts, and just talk about it. And honestly, and I give my honest reviews. They make a great product for being a weird sort of like no name Chinese company or whatever, right? Like who the fuck is Tunai, right? Tunai, yeah. Which I'm still pimping kind of for them.
I've actually heard that before now too, and I think it's from you. I think you're the one that made me recognize that brand.
It is a legitimately good product. I used the headphones that they sent me, like they were like wired headphones. I used them nearly every single day for over a year until I wore them out. Like two sets. They sent me a total of 3 headsets, and I know I lost one of them, but I used one of them until it failed. Like every single day at work, 8-10 hours a day, listening to music and using them and stuff. They're great. They had a cool this little widget thing. It was like a.
So they Bluetooth or are they wired?
The headphones they sent were wired, but they also sent me this little doodad that you could plug the headphones into that was a wireless transceiver.
Oh, like a little wireless DAC? Like they connect to the phone or whatever? Oh, that's cool.
It had a play and pause and forward, back, volume buttons and stuff. It's like you could plug any headphones into them to make them Bluetooth, right? Great. I would work with them again in a minute. They have genuinely good product. Great sounding headphones and stuff.
Well, it's like Raycon. Raycon keeps hitting me up. Like still, at least once a week, I get a message from one of the 3 marketing companies that for some reason will never take me off their list, no matter how many times I tell them, because I think they're just lazy. They're like, oh, Raycon is paying. We'll pay $1,500 to $2,500 for 100,000 views on a video where you spend time talking about Raycon. We'll send you, 2 pairs of Raycons that feature in your video. Blah blah blah. And I always reply back. I stopped replying now, but I reply back and I'm like, listen, guys, you charge $160 at the time. I think for the ones they were sending me, $160 for Bluetooth earbuds that are literally the exact same internals of a $40 pair that's on Amazon right now. Like the people have already done the research and taken them apart, and you're charging like 300% markup.
Jeez.
It's like, that's just, dude, that's why your marketing budget is so huge. I'm not interested. If they were $40, hell yeah. For $40, they actually don't sound bad. For $100 plus, no fucking way. You can do way, way, way better.
There was a set that Brian from BPS Customs, he had like a link. He talked about them in his video. He had a link, and they're true wireless. I think they were like $40 like that. Yeah. And they're pretty decent. They're not, I mean, as far as sound quality and stuff, I have some issues that with like connectivity and stuff that like every once in a while, if I like take them off, put them in the container and bring them back, like it turns all warbly and like robotic and stuff. And I have to reboot my phone and reconnect them.
Yeah.
Weird little issues and stuff like that. But for $40 or whatever, they're fucking great, man. They last 10 hours all day. If you charge up the case that they come in, you get like 2 more charges without having to plug it in and stuff. It's pretty decent.
Yeah. So check this out. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm looking at the Raycons. Somebody said that they didn't know the Raycons are $150. Yeah, they still are. $150 for the high end ones. That's for the Raycon 11, the workout earbuds. They kind of have the little downspout antenna. They basically are similar to like the iPhone like iPods, right?
Yeah.
And then for the ones that you see advertised in the videos, they always advertise the cheapest ones, which are the everyday earbuds, the blue ones that you commonly see in all the YouTuber videos. Like you rarely see anybody showing the 2 high-end ones because they want them to advertise the cheapest of them because that's their highest profit margin. And for the cheap ones, there's okay, they did lower the price. They used to be more than this, $79.99 for Bluetooth earbuds. If you've ever laid hands on these things, they are the cheapest, lightest weight plastic you've ever felt in your entire life. And the case doesn't even look like it's been properly deburred. Like it is not a high quality thing. Like if you take iPods with the case and you fuck with the little iPods like I have right here, which you can buy these used for like, $80, this first or second generation of these. This is like solid. It's got a metal hinge, not a plastic hinge. It's got magnets that hold the things in like really, really nicely. It's like you can tell a lot of design went into that to make it all perfectly smooth. Nothing catches. Yeah. The Raycons are nothing like that. Like a friend of mine bought some and I was like, I've been seeing them in all the videos. I'm like, I want to try these out. If they were good, fuck, I'd advertise them. Sure, why not? And I put them in and I was like, they're not terrible. Like they don't sound bad. I've heard worse Bluetooth earbuds. Sure. And they do have a decent amount of bass, which for earbuds is pretty, but they're muddy as shit in the mids. The treble on them is fucking like really, really annoying and not very strong. And so I was like, why would somebody spend $80 on these when you can buy? And then I went and looked, I'd have to go find the video, but a guy actually tore apart a pair of the $35 Amazon Chinese IYMI Bluetooth earbuds or whatever. And it literally had the same exact circuit board, the same exact driver. Yeah. And so the only thing they did was they just changed the outside of the case with the R logo and a contour. So they basically just did a injection mold for the case. That was it. The rest of the electronics were off the shelf. So there's nothing that makes a Raycon, at least the low end version. There's nothing that makes them special. I haven't listened to the $150 pair because quite frankly, I haven't found anybody that has a pair of them. Right. But $150. And then you go to their site and it's like 36,000 5-star reviews, 46,000 5-star reviews, 11 5-star reviews on the workout earbuds. Those must be pretty new, but they're all 5-star reviews. That's horseshit. That is absolute horseshit. If you go to Amazon, hold on, let me see if anybody's reselling Raycons on Amazon here. So and you can't trust Amazon reviews either, right? So let's see. Okay, so going over to Raycon, let me see if I can find one of the ones that have sold a bunch. Okay, so you've got wow, okay, 4.5 stars at 100,000 reviews. That's not even fucking realistic. So these are obviously people that are watching the videos and trying to support the content creators, because there's no fucking way this gets at that price. There is no way this gets that level of a review. Yeah. Oh, actually, wait, no, shit. No, I took it back. I found the knockoffs. Oh, I found the knockoff. The knockoffs have the perfect rating. Okay, that's probably why. I bet you if you look in the comments, they're like Raycon. These are just Raycons, like, but half the price, $35. Yeah. Check this out. And I'm not even giving you guys the affiliate link. Like I could give you an affiliate. Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to give you the affiliate link because if you guys go buy this shit, I want some money. All right, hold on. How do I do the affiliate thing on here? I always forget. Like you got to go like share or some shit. This is how few of the times I actually do this. Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Whatever. You guys, I don't need an affiliate link for this. Here, just do it. So here's the link right here in chat. So these right here, I believe, are the ones that are a complete like knockoff. These are like non-branded Raycons that actually have more features on the case, better designed, better stats, and they cost $35. And you can get them in like 20 different colors.
There you go.
So there you go. I mean, and it's literally like you tear these things apart and it's like basically the same stats as like the Raycons. For the lower end Raycons that are $78. Oh, and these are IPX8 waterproof too, which I don't believe the Raycons are. These ones are actually IPX8, which means you can fucking swim with them if you wanted to. For $35. So like, that's what I don't understand is like, why are people, they're buying Raycon because you're supporting a content creator. And let me be clear. I think that that's cool. Like if you buy a product because it's supporting a content creator and they're getting, they keep getting the same ad and they're getting $2,500 or whatever. And you're buying the product and you enjoy it, like even though you're paying a ridiculous amount for it, you enjoy it. Kind of like when you buy something from your multi-level marketing friends selling like Shackley and Amway and stuff, like you still like the product that they made. It's just stupid overpriced. I think that's fine. And I understand why the content creators running the ads, because come on, quite frankly, they're making a shitload of money. They're making, I mean, the market, the markup on these is absolutely just fucking ridiculous. Right. So the way I see it is that's okay, but I just want people to be informed. Like when you're watching that ad and he's like, oh man, I listen to these every day. I challenge you to find a YouTuber where you see them wearing the Raycons every single day in every single video. They're only wearing the Raycons in the damn videos where they're doing the advertisement. And then in the videos where they're not, suddenly they got earpods in again, or they're wearing headphones or something. Like I'm not saying that there's nobody that does it. I'm sure there are people that have never had Bluetooth earbuds before, that have got these and advertised them, and to them this is the best thing they've ever heard because they don't sound terrible. Like you put them in, you'd be like, okay, this sounds pretty good. But no, compared to like a $35 pair of earbuds, you instantly notice that these are just they're just completely a marketing ripoff. They really are. But yeah, hold on. So I did find some legit Raycons sold by Raycon on Amazon. So $79.99. They cost the exact same amount on the store, except for on the store, of course. This is another thing they do. And Nord does this too, and it pisses me off because I'm a Nord affiliate. And I have never used any of Nord's marketing. I tell people what a VPN is and why I use their VPN and the specific reasons. I don't go into the whole, oh my God, you're going to die, this is going to save your life, because that's absolute bullshit. That's fear mongering. Like VPNs have a very specific use. And I like NordVPN. I've used it for 2 years. And I also tell other people to use other VPNs. If it's faster for you, do not use Nord. Use somebody else. That's the beauty of not having a contract. I can say whatever the fuck I want. But the point that I was getting at is they do this thing where it's like you go to the website with the affiliate link, mine included, and it's like, oh, get 20% off and like a special, but then you just go to the main page and you get the same deal. So it's like the creator in his video is going, oh, and if you use my code, you get 20% off. Whenever you hear that, go to the main site and see if it still says, oh, limited time only. You get the exact same discount that we're offering to the people, the creators. Because they're trying to get you to click on the creator's link so they can see how much traffic that creator's generating to justify their marketing budget. But you're not getting, they're literally just bait and switch. They're saying it costs more and then they're giving you a discount. But no, that's the price they always sell it for. It's like the My Pillow guy who says, oh, get two for $19.95 or $99.95 and I'll throw one in. It's like, no, it's you do that at the store too. They're $49 a piece at the store. That works out to $99. So just be aware of stuff like that because those are marketing tactics that work, right? I mean, the human intellect, you're like, oh man, I only got a little bit of time to buy something and it's only gonna be cheaper, you do it. But I will say this, the one thing that Nord does that isn't 100% like Raycon is at least you get the extra month. So if you buy NordVPN, they do give you additional months if you use a content creator's affiliate. So you do get like a free month a year. It's like 2 years and you get an extra 2 months. So you do get something out of the deal, but it's like, I see so many of these. It's like, oh, and if you order now, you'll get 20% off your order. And then you go on the main page and it's like, oh, we're offering 20 off always to everybody every single day for a limited time. And it looks like Raycon does that same shit. Like I went to Raycon's page and it's like, oh, right now, 20% off. Oh, you mean like the exact same amount? Like if I click on, my favorite creator to get 20% off on their product. It's like, oh, come on, man. This marketing shit is just, there's a reason the budgets are so big. I will tell you right now from experience, because again, I'm a creator, right? The more that you see an ad, the more money that company is putting into marketing and not their product. So just keep that in mind. Like if you see an ad that, like, I love it when I see a YouTuber that has an ad that I've never heard before for a product that I've never heard before. Because that's a company that's like literally just created their product and they're just getting their, they're trying to get their name out there and they're paying a reasonable amount of money to do it. But when I see like Raid Shadow Legends and it's on every single video, every single day on every single channel, that means the company's spending literally hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing. And that sure as hell is not going into the creation of the product. Right. And if you look at the size of some of these companies, like, I guess a good example would be Ridge Wallet. Although the Ridge Wallet is cool. I think it's overpriced as shit, but it's a cool wallet.
I agree. But
it really is a cool wallet.
I've a guy at work got a few of them and stuff, and they're actually they are a quality product, but I think a little pricey. Yeah, and I don't get paid for saying that for none of this. I don't have a single contract with a company that restricts what I can say or what I can do, even with affiliate. That's why I like doing affiliate links, because you just sign up, you get an affiliate link. The deal is they can cancel it if they don't like you for whatever reason, but there's no like legal repercussions like there is when you have a signed contract with somebody to advertise their product. The other thing too is like, some of these guys can't get out of it. Like if something happens to that company or something goes bad or they have a bad reputation, they still are under contract to do the video. And that's why like people, like I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just speculating here, but people are like mad at Linus for like doing a video on Raid Shadow Legends or doing a video on Nice Hash, right? It's entirely possible when they signed the contracts for that advertisement, they didn't really understand like how bad the public perception was. And again, I mean, they should have looked into that, but they probably didn't know. And then as time went by, they started to realize, but it's like, how do you get out of that contract once you've signed it? Unless they agree to let you out of the contract, you're going to be paying a fee or they're going to sue you. It's like, you can't, you have to do it. You have to do it. So the only thing that you can really do in that case is just do it, expect the fallout, and then release a video or something to address the fallout and say, we're not going to do it again. So, and unfortunately that's their hands are tied. I'm not, and again, I want to reiterate, I'm not saying that's the case here. It's entirely possible that, that Linus, it just all happened so fast. And once he realized it was a bad company, he just immediately ducked out, because Linus actually does have a lot of integrity. I know him personally. He has a lot of integrity. Like if he knows
if he knew that the backlash was going to be like that, unless it was under like some kind of actual massive legal pressure or punishment to his like own people, I know he wouldn't have done it. I know he would have done it. But again, I actually defend the nice hash thing, even though he backtracked on it because, you know, the public came after him like with pitchforks. I back him up on that one. I'm like, dude, how is that any different than all the other shit that you advertise on your channel? Like whether it be like Raycon or lynda.com or some web management system or some tax system or some, it's like you're a sponsored video platform. That's how you make your money. You have a pre-roll, and that's why you have your segue that you do in every video. That's like, you know, oh, and now we're going to talk about this, or, you know, it's built into their system. It's a part of how they make their money. And you're not always going to be able to find companies that are going to give you the money that you need to survive for a product that you 100% love and want to promote. You know what I mean? It's like it is a business first.
Yeah. And
that's kind of the difference. And if you want to see what the outcome of that is, my business is not a business first. I can say whatever the fuck I want and I have no contracts, but I also made like $50,000 last year instead of like 5 million. You know, it's like, so there is a big trade-off by going the ethical route. So don't be too hard on people when they don't all go the ethical route, because they have people that they have to support. They're paying wages. They're paying, if they lose those contracts, they have to lay people off, and that affects their lives. Like, no, it's a whole different game, at that point.
Too, in the case of like Linus, I wonder how much he is personally involved in some of those decisions. Like, it can't all, like, there's a lot going on. Like, it can't all run through him, right?
Dude,
like,
he has 30 employees. Like, there's no way he's micromanaging everything.
There's no way. Like, I mean, it just can't. It can't be.
And think about that, 30 employees.
There has to be somebody else who is like, hey, this Raid Shadow Legends thing sounds like a good deal. Let's do it. And it wasn't probably Linus personally.
No, most companies have a marketing guy. I mean, I'm not going to say any names, but I know at least 4 YouTubers right now that I know their marketing guys personally. Like their job for the channel. And some of them some do multiple. Some marketing guys will cover like 3 or 4 channels. Sure. But I'm sure Linus probably has a dedicated guy, but the marketing guy's job is literally to go out and find companies and add integrations and get them signed, scheduled, paid for, and on the calendar. Like, so that they know that every day that they're making a video for like the next 2 months, they have a sponsor lined up for that spot. Yeah. That is literally their entire job at the company. They don't do anything else. And then that frees up the content creators to make whatever content they want. And then they just shuffle around the days at which they release those content so it matches up with the ad that they want to run. Because the content has to be compatible. Like, they're not going to do an ad for like why NASAs suck and today is sponsored by QNAP. Like, you're never going to see that, because if it's an advertisement, because you can't. It literally says in the contract you're not allowed to defame the company. You're not allowed to create a competing video. That's why you're not going to see videos, at least sponsored videos, from anybody, not Linus, anybody, where it's like they're taking 2 competing products and comparing them favorably when one of the products is actually the sponsor of the video. You can't do that, because to compare them favorably, you'd have to shit all over the product that you're literally sponsoring, because obviously if you're comparing it to the competitor's product, there's got to be some things that the competitor's better at to compete in that market. So they don't do that. They avoid that entirely. And they're like, oh, if today's video is sponsored by a GPU manufacturer, then we're going to do a video on doing something with their product or doing something with its GPU intensive or something that uses GPUs, but we're not going to create a video that's contrary to that. Right. And that's business. That's how this whole thing works. It's not super complicated. But the thing is Linus is a good example of how he's the face of the company. It is Linus Media Group. His name is on there, which means if anything happens, and he knows this, anything happens, he is the one responsible, not the employee behind the scenes that pulls the ropes. It is him that has to answer for that. And he understands that because he is a damn good businessman.
And that's it. He, as the boss, like he must be CEO or whatever, top dog. The buck does stop with him, regardless of whether or not he personally made the decision. Right. I like that he has been the one to step forward and say, hey, look, that was to personally say, hey, look, this is what we were trying to accomplish with this Nice Hash video. We're not supporting these monster like Chinese corporations who have thousands of these graphics cards and stuff doing all this work. Nice Hash is like, you guys missed the intent of this video was to say, hey, look, the average gamer, if you're not doing nothing with your PC, you should probably be doing this. Like, we're not supporting the big guys. You're filling in the void of this, right? Just because I said this is a good idea doesn't mean this other piece of it is. And he's the one who came forward with that. And that's good. That's cool.
I just wish this video had delved a little bit deeper into why it's actually a good thing for the gamer to mine.
Right.
Like not just that it's profitable or whatever, but you can literally break the system that the miners are causing by participating in it and diluting it.
Yeah.
And that would have been a really cool angle to take. But the buck stops with him. And one of the things I really respect about Linus that I don't see a lot of other people at a company that size doing is I've never seen him throw his own employees under the bus, like as a first reaction.
Nope.
I've never seen him do that. It doesn't matter. If somebody else at the company like completely screwed up and drove the thing off of a cliff, he will stand there in front of the camera and be like, Linus Media Group or something had a problem. We're going to fix that. And I respect that hugely.
Super. Yeah. And that's, I think, the sign of a good boss. It's like, because honestly, it is all his fault in a way. Like he hired this person or okayed somebody else to hire this person, or at some point or another enabled someone to make the decision that led to this. And when you're the boss, that's everything is your fault.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's why I don't have employees. Like people are like, dude, why don't you get an editor and stuff like that? It's because I don't have the heart to like lean on somebody and apply the pressure that's needed. Like, listen, I pay you for a job. You're going to do it exactly. I've never been good at that. I tried that when I was at Microsoft being a manager for 6 months. It fucking sucked. It was like worst time of my life. I like just being a one-man band, but that also means that I can't expand like other people do. Like Linus has 2 ads per video because he's paying 30 or 50 employees. So for him, he has to make like $50,000 to $100,000 a video, whereas I have to make like $200 a video to survive because he's got the studio, he's got all the equipment, which a lot of that they pay for. Everybody thinks that they get everything for free. They really don't. Like a lot of that equipment, the camera equipment, the networking stuff, they have a huge budget, and they need to, because a big company that makes money like that has to also spend money, because if you don't, that'll put you in a bad tax situation. So it's stressful, man. Like a lot of people don't appreciate like how easy he makes it look. Well, it is literally the most complicated mechanism ever.
It is. Yeah, man. I'd love to get to a point where I could replace I'd like to make a little bit more, but it would be cool to replace my 9 to 5 with this stuff, honestly.
And I think I think with you, it's entirely possible, because the only thing that really stands between somebody, and again, I'm talking about a meager living. I'm not talking about going and becoming the next PewDiePie.
I'm not trying to be hell. I'm not even trying to get to Jay's 2 cents level, man. Yeah. I just want to. Well,
that requires going full blown marketing too, though. That's like it has to be a business at that point to do that. What's the word? I aspire to get to kind of your level in a big way, because it's a perfect equilibrium. Punch down, man. Punch down.
Well, no. Look, you're very self-aware. You know that there was a level that you were at, but that took a toll on
massive you. And I chose not to do that anymore. Yeah.
But you've reached a good equilibrium of doing exactly what you want to do every day. Yep. You enjoy every day of at least of the work that you do.
Right. It's my choice. I don't feel forced.
Yeah, it pays the bills. It keeps your wife or kid happy, food on the table, roof over the head, lights on, and probably a little extra.
Yeah. Well, not in the last 2 years, but it can. It's my fault. I get to choose. Is the thing. I get to choose.
Enough is the thing. And like I just, that's to me is the dream, right? Is to be able to do exactly what you want every day and get paid enough. Just enough. I don't want to be Jeff Bezos. I don't want to be Jay's 2 cents or Linus or like, I honestly, I'd love to just get to a point where like there's a buddy of mine, I guess I'd like to have a positive relationship with this guy named Remus. He runs a boutique shop out of Nevada.
Is he a Romulan? Like that sounds like a Romulan name.
No, that's like honestly, that's his given name. Is
Remus? That's cool.
I thought I'm like, dude, how'd you come up with the name for your company? He goes, no, that's my name. It's like my name with like computer services at the end. I'm like, dude, that's cool. Hey, I'm Houston. It's a very unique name. But it took him a while. It took him like something like 5 or 10 years or something to get up to a point where it was replacing his 9 to 5 income. But now that's his whole thing. His whole thing is built just him. I think it's just him. And he builds PCs out of his home, out of his garage or basement or something. And it's enough. It pays his house. It pays the business. He pays himself. It pays the mortgage, it pays that's his living, and he gets to do what he loves to do every day. And how cool is that? That's all I'm looking for too.
And that's a trade-off. That's the thing, is that I don't think people really realize, because I get the troll comments every day that are like, oh, I checked your social blade, your YouTube channel is dying. It's like, yeah, but you're not watching what I'm doing on Twitch, you're not watching what I'm doing on this, you haven't seen my Patreon, you haven't seen any of this. And it's like, what you need to realize is, like, I'm not trying to shoot for what I was at my apex and what I was at my peak. That was when I was literally competing and treating money and fame as the metric to success. Right. And that changed. My life situation changed. And I got to a point where I was like, I have to, because I'm in pain all the time now, I have to literally enjoy what I'm doing. Like, there is no getting through it mentally convincing by faking. You can't. You have to actually enjoy what you're doing enough that the pain becomes inconsequential. Like, you're willing to go through it. And so I created a situation where it's like, yeah, I can still feed my family, and my family is not super needy at all. And as long as as long as they're happy and I'm happy, it's like, we don't have to retire millionaires. Like, that's not the goal at all. And I think that frees up my mind a lot on things that I want to do, because I don't have to wake up and go, oh, today I have to do the advertisement insert for, that company that makes that product, or, oh, today's the day where I have to do that thing. I don't have this huge schedule hanging on the wall that's like all the business meetings, and when I have to get on a call with my marketing guy and my producer, and I got to make sure that, the new teleprompter's online and everything, and, oh, we got to get the videos down to this minute because, YouTube's saying that this is the new algorithm and blah, blah. I don't have to do any of that, because I'm not aiming super high for the subs and the views and the money. Like as long as I make enough. And the thing I found out is, like, it doesn't really, like, if you want to make a lot of money, then you have to do the advertisers and stuff like that. You're not going to usually have regular whales that come in and drop like $500 or $1,000 just for lulz, right? Especially during like this whole COVID thing, right? You're just not going to have people that have a lot of money. And that's perfectly understandable when you rely on people as your support and not the companies, and using the people as a product, because most channels use their audience as the product to market to. Whereas I'm using my audience as the people that are paying me to entertain them or to teach them something. So you're not going to make as much money in that direction. That's why you don't see a lot of people doing it. But and it's harder to start. Like, try starting a channel on that premise and growing to a point where you can support yourself. No, you literally have to grow the channel, doing the collaborations and the sponsorships and everything, if you want to grow fast. And then you can choose later on to go ahead and say, okay, I'm at a comfortable spot right here, I'm going to slow down and then transition into what I want to do long term. You can do that. And that's kind of what I did.
I still, I think especially these days though, the best thing to do is to think a little long term. What I call like kind of middle future, right? 2 to 5 years. And just do it because you like it. And you'll grow from there. And it's really the truth of it. Like, you don't need millions of followers, millions of views, tens of thousands of concurrent viewers. You really need or should strive for that, like, consistent core group of raving fans.
You know what's great about live streaming? Like, a lot of people ask, why don't you live stream on YouTube more? Like, why do I only do once a week over here, but I do 3 times a week over on Twitch? It's because on Twitch, you don't need nearly as big of an audience to make a living, because the support over there isn't purely monetary. Like, here on YouTube, the only way that we make any money off the show is if you guys are kind enough to do a super chat. And then we read your message and stuff, and then we split the super chat revenue throughout the stream. It doesn't get enough views to make any real money through advertisements, maybe enough to cover some of the taxes. That's about it. Like, it doesn't make a lot on that. It's, there's not a lot of people that join as channel members. So there's a couple, but it's not significant. It's the super chat revenue. The thing I like about Twitch is you don't have to have any money to support people, because you get bits from watching ads. You can just follow the channel and view, which pushes them up through the ranks on Twitch, which they're going to get more viewers. And maybe one of those viewers has a couple dollars. They can tip, on the side through like PayPal if they want to. They can. There's a million different, even crypto. During my stream, I have people just join my crypto pool on NiceHash and just mine during the duration of the stream. And like the last time I did a stream, that made like $13. Which it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get all these like little different mechanisms together, but the most important one is the subscribers. Because on Twitch, most people have Amazon Prime, and when they link it to Twitch, and they can give that to one person every 30 days, and you have an audience that's like, you got like, 200, 300, 400 people that are giving you their primes every month. That's it. That's it. That you now have somewhat of a stable. It's not absolutely stable. It varies.
Sure.
But it's a fairly stable income, and it's not $1 million bajillion dollars, but that's how small streamers, by having a dedicated audience that enjoys hanging out with them and enjoys, And there's a million different reasons people can enjoy it. Like, for instance, I've seen VTubers that are getting like tips for $1,000 every like 15 minutes because there's people that just have all that expendable income and they love the dynamic of the VTuber. They like being able to relate to a real-time artificially created thing. And I think it makes a lot of money. It makes an absolute lot of money. Those people don't need advertisers. They don't need contracts or anything. It's just they have a group of people that really are heavily invested in their success. And it's no different than having investors, really.
I think Pokimane went over to VTube and like she's got a virtual avatar now.
Wait, for real?
If I remember right, or maybe it was just a test or something.
Was Pokimane the one that was banned off the platform for like assaulting her cats and stuff, or was that?
Nah, that was Amaranth or something. One of those ones.
Okay.
Pokimane's pretty chill. She's all right.
Yeah, Code Miko's killing it. Like Code Miko, I think, is probably one of the top VTubers in the world. Period.
Twitch Pokimane.
Alinity. Sorry, it was Alinity.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It was Alinity. Yeah, that's the one.
But that's why I'm on Twitch a lot. People are like, "Oh, why did you abandon your YouTube channel?" It's like, well, one, I'm just not in a position right now where the edited content's working out. Like, trust me, I try all the time, but I just don't like it. And it's one of those things where if I don't like it, I don't do it. It's just, you know, if you enjoy watching what I do, it's because when I'm doing it, I'm really truly enjoying it. I'm not doing the whole, oh my God, this is the most amazing coffee cup ever. You know, I don't do the whole super hand up thing. Like a great example is I hate having to pick on Stradman because I love him. I watch every video he puts out. Stradman's amazing. And I love his story of how he went from like living in his car to literally owning like a Bugatti Veyron and like a bunch of Lamborghini Aventadors all in 5 years. 5 years, he basically went from like a broken down, like I think it was like an Audi that he was driving, an Audi A4 or something. He was driving around and living in to a Lamborghini Gallardo, and now 5 years later, he's got a supercar collection. He's building like a mansion that has like a 20-car garage in it and stuff. So the dude like did that over 5 years. But every one of his videos, like, hey guys, oh my God, wow, oh, dude, driving down the road, oh wow, oh God, it's so fast, oh, it's so fast. And it's like, well, one thing I know, driving cars, it's like you get used to the speed really quickly. Like, you know, it doesn't matter if your car has a billion horsepower. You eventually just get used to it and you anticipate it, and it's not that big of a deal anymore. But every time he does it, he makes it seem like he's doing it for the first time. And people gravitate to that because everybody that comes in and watches his first video, it feels like it's their first time every time. And so he gets a huge following and a lot of views. But then I noticed that he started showing up on other people's channels like Shmee 150 and stuff. And when he's on other people's videos, you can tell that he's exhausted his energy on his own video. So when other people doing videos like, oh, hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah. Hey, check out my car. Yeah. Hey, oh, this is kind of cool too. Check this out. And he's just like super down to earth, completely chill, and what you'd expect a normal person to be like if you went and talked to him. Yeah. So you get to see behind the curtain, right? When you see him in other videos. And I've seen other YouTubers do this even when you go to conventions and you meet them in the green room and stuff. It's like you realize that their business is to be this super excited character that thinks everything is the most amazing thing ever because people like want to feel that way. It's like they feel how you feel. So when you watch somebody doing that, it amps you up. And that's like kind of the thing. I tried that. I can't do it. I can't do it. If I'm feeling like shit, I just don't want to make a video. Or if I'm live streaming and I'm having a rough day, I just want to talk about it. Yeah. I just want to go through it. And it's like, you know, hey, if it bums people out, it bums people out. But then the thing you find out is instead of getting a huge audience that's every comment's like, oh, I'm leaving because of this, or oh, I joined because of this, oh, I hate you now because you didn't do the thing you did last video. You start noticing that goes away over time, and you start normalizing to a smaller audience that's just like, you know, hey, we just enjoy the ride. Yeah. Like, we like the personality. We like that you're real. We like that you're honest. We like that you tell people like how things really work instead of utilizing those things to manipulate them like everybody else does. And for that, I feel good about that. Like, that actually makes me feel good. Like, that's what I'm getting. It's not, I'm trading money and fame for integrity and having fun and taking care of like myself and like what my needs are. And I do it again and again, over and over again. But let me be clear again. I try to be as honest as I can. If I couldn't feed my family and I couldn't afford my house, and we were in, I would literally murder all of you guys in like 3 seconds to feed my son if I had to keep him alive. Like, I get to be this way because I still, luckily, because people are nice enough and generous enough, I still make enough money that I can keep moving forward. I'm not putting anything in my 401k. Like, my future isn't looking great right now. I have to figure out a better trajectory. But my point being is I am surviving right now, and I'm happy, and I'm super grateful for the things I have. And that's because of all you guys. It really is. Yeah. It's 100. I mean that. I genuinely mean that. It's because you guys. If you guys didn't do that, I would be forced to take advertisements. I'd be forced to do collaborations. I'd have to make nothing but one kind of video over and over and over again because it's the trendy thing that I have the most experience with. And every video would literally be Microsoft in 3D printing, which is some of you would be like, oh my God, I love it. But just realize as I was doing those videos, it wouldn't be my happiest moments. Like, it wouldn't be me doing what I want to do exactly when I want to do it. And I think that that's the trade-off that you choose. You have to pick, you know, the red pill or the blue pill, you know, and I made my choice, and I am happy with it. I want you guys to know that I am happy. I mean, despite the medical problems that I'm dealing with right now, I am happy. I am happy that I don't have to wake up to work at 6 a.m. and drive into the office and go to scrum meetings and regurgitate every, you know, hour, go explain to my manager in front of everybody how close I am to the deadline that I just told him about an hour ago. Like, I am glad that I don't have to answer to, you know, and everybody has bosses. Like, people are like, oh, you work for yourself? No, when you work for yourself, you just have more bosses, right? It's like, you guys are my boss. If you all dried up and everybody left and there was no more super chats, no more subs, no more Patreon, I couldn't pay a bill. Like, I couldn't afford to do this. And so you do have to like hit that bottom line, but I'm just saying, I'm not aiming for up here. I'm content right here. Like, as long as I'm surviving, as long as there's, you know, a roof over my head and food on the plate, it's like, I can just keep being genuine and be honest about everything and have a good time doing it. And I genuinely do. I know sometimes it may not seem like it, but I really love this, and the live streaming, no matter how bad I hurt, I have been more reliable on my Twitch live streaming than I ever have in my entire career with video production. Right. And it's because I love it and I look forward to it.
I've said this a bunch, but like, I knew after that first time we did that live stream that was your jam. Live content works the best.
Dude, when we did that live stream where we weren't even trying and we got like 6,000 live viewers, it was because we were just having a good time and we were just playing off each other's humor. And it, like, we weren't trying to be entertainers. We were just doing what we do. And that's what I liked about it, is like, it didn't feel like work, because I've had the work days, man. I've had the work days where it's like, you got to go do something, you got to pre-roll, you got to do an ad, and you do 20 takes or whatever. It's like, oh, today lynda.com, blah, 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 blah. And that's what I don't like. It takes the wind out of you. It's like you get a bunch of money, but that's why you get a bunch of money. That's the trade-off, right? It's like they have to give you enough money to offset you being like, my God, this sucks to get through. Yeah. Like, this is terrible. Like, my highest paid single per minute event was 7-Eleven paid me what was it, $2,800? It was either $2,700 or $2,800 to take one drink out of a Slurpee and take an Instagram photo. and I posted the photo, and they even let me put everything on there. I put hashtag ad sponsored or whatever, and it's like, and I even took their text verbatim that was like, oh, go to 7-Eleven and get the Modern Warfare 2 Slurpee. That's it. And I got $2,800 for walk, and they literally overnighted me a disposable cup with the Call of Duty logo stuff on it. So I opened up a box, pulled out a cup, walked into 7-Eleven, filled it with a Slurpee, walked out front in front of 7-Eleven, held it up, took a drink and took a selfie, posted it, put their text on it. They approved it. They sent me a check for $2,800. And at that moment, I was like, I now understand why all these YouTubers and everything go from it just being a hobby in their room to completely segueing and transitioning into a corporate model. Because that money is just too damn much, and it's too alluring, especially if you really, really, really need it.
Man. It's weird though. It's weird.
Yeah, the most I've ever been paid for an ad. I got paid $15,000 for a 60-second pre-roll on a video before.
I dig it.
15 grand. I don't make 15 grand in like 4 months now. Like, but for one 60-second ad sitting there just acting all super fucking excited about a product. And it was even a product that I used. It was ebooks, Amazon Prime ebooks. And I was like, or what was it called? Like, not their e-reader, Kindle. Yeah. It was like, and I did that ad insert. Actually, it might've been 2 videos. So it might've been, but still do the math, right? I mean, it's still $7,500 a pop. And, but yeah, it was like, when I did that, I was like, oh my God, I totally understand why YouTubers do this, because in one video, you can make as much as your entire AdSense for like 3 months. Yeah. Like at the current market. So when you watch YouTube videos and every single one of them has a pre-roll, that's why, because it's like, you cannot compete with the amount of money that these marketing companies offer. And it's for very little. Hell, they usually say 100,000 views, and then they'll prorate it under that. Like if you don't get 100,000 views, they'll prorate it and give you whatever they promised you divided by the number of views that you were short over a month. But yeah, it's like 100,000 views sounds like a ton. But when you think about that kind of money, it's not.
It's like within a certain window, right? Like,
it's like 30 days usually.
Whatever. Oh, sure. That's. I
mean, and usually it takes them a while to pay out. That's why you want a marketing guy, because sometimes you have to lean on them and remind them and send them your wire transfer details, and they'll 1099 you and send you tax information and all that. And I did that a couple of times, and it was a lot of money, and I could do cool things with that money for sure. Right. But then as time went by, I was like, am I making this video because it's what I want to do, or am I making this video because I need a place to park this ad?
Right.
And at that point, it gets to the point where you're shooting the video and you're stressed out because you're like, You don't want to hit 100,000 views because it's an awesome video. You want to hit 100,000 views through any means possible to make sure that you get your payout on your advertisement. And it's stuff like that that influences me that I don't like. And I'm not saying that other people can do it without the influence. I'm just saying, me personally, it was too much pressure. I got in my head. It literally wore me out, and I lost sleep over it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I think that's cool that exists. And a lot of YouTubers wouldn't exist today. Like, the content you love would not exist.
Oh, for sure.
If it wasn't for the money generated from those ads. Like, you're not going to have B is for Build building like off-road Lamborghini Aventadors and shit in his garage unless he's making, $1 million a year in ad revenue.
I mean, and that's the trouble I've run into with my own content. Like, it's expensive as fuck. Okay. I don't have enough disposable income to build in every ITX case there is. Like, right. I was working a system where I'd buy them on Amazon, build in them, and return them. But like, that's still expensive. That's still a couple $100 tied up in a case that I can't use until I return it, and then I have to try and flip that back into another case or whatever. And then if I miss the window, right? If I miss the return window, now I'm out the $100 and something odd bucks that I paid for the case, because what the fuck, I can't sell it. Not really on a side market, because I can't ship it. It costs $50 to ship a case across the country, and so it'd be different if I could have a more reasonable or consistent some sort of, I don't know, sponsorship or something where it's like, hey, we'll give you a couple $100 every video that you do or every stream. Yep. So,
and I have people all the time that tell me, dude, just go get paid. Like, we'll completely understand. We love your content. We'll watch the ad. But I'm like, the thing is, it's not about you guys. It's about me. Yeah. Like if it was just about you guys, like, no, I chase people off all the time from my channel. Like, literally, I won't go into it deep here, but on my Twitch stream, I say shit where I'll lose 10,000 people in a week. Yeah. And because I stand by what I believe, like, if something's important, I talk about it. That's how I've always been, and how I want to keep being. But that comes at a cost. But I'm not afraid to scare people away that I don't consider somebody who enriches my life. Right. Like, I want people around me that are awesome. I would rather have 100 good people than 100,000 trolls. Like, damn straight.
It's about being happy with it. It's about loving it. It's not, and
life short.
You gotta, it's self-awareness. Like, it's not. None of this should be construed as like, oh, you're a bad person or you're a shitty whatever if you do these things. Right. It's just not for us. Like, that's not how we want to operate.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you have to reiterate that, because there are people that'll be like, oh man, Barnacules is trash talking you for making money, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm actually incredibly proud of these people, and a lot of them are my very good friends that do this, and I did it myself. So I'm one to talk, right? I'm just saying it's not for me, and I'm trying to explain to people how it works, because obviously you're not going to get the explanation from the people that are benefiting from it. Right. You will every once in a while. You'll see somebody make a video that's like, oh, here's how I make my money, exposing everything, because they get a bunch of pressure from the community. They're like, okay, I'm gonna make a video. But I guarantee you, in that video, there's a lot of details that are left out in every single one of those videos that contribute to like what is really happening behind the scenes, right? Because they'd be shooting themselves in the foot otherwise. So how am I shooting myself in the foot? Well, I'm not, because I don't do contracts anyways, and I already made that decision. So I can tell you the secret. I can tell you behind the curtain, because that's not how I make my living. I don't have to follow that code. I'm like the guy that unmasks the magicians. The magician community is like, don't tell them that, because then we're not going to make all the money anymore. But it's like, listen, that's not my model. You got yours, I got mine.
The thing is, even knowing how it works, like talking about, I don't know, it may have actually been against the rules for us to talk about the bounty board thing on Twitch. Not that it matters, because we're on YouTube right now, but like, that isn't going to take away from somebody else. Not in any way, not really. Because honest to goodness, really, the deal. As a viewer, the deal. When somebody puts hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored in their thing, you that immediately changes your perception of that content, because like, and you either trust that person to be giving you the unvarnished truth about how they feel, or you don't, and you're either okay with that or you're not, and that's on you as the consumer to that doesn't, it just depends on you and the people that you support and watch. And
the one thing I do want to say though is, like, don't judge if you enjoy a creator's content, don't shit on them for making the living that allows them to make that content.
Oh yeah.
So don't be like, oh man, I love your videos, but I'm never gonna watch your shit because you put a fucking ad on your video or something. No, it's like just ignore the ad, fast forward through it. Like don't care. Like they can do the content you like because of the shit you don't like.
Well, and how, like, again, I personally cannot create the content I want to create because I don't have the income to do so. I would, and if I did an ad or took some sponsorship money, I mean, I'm with you, Jay. I would only do it for people that I believe in or products I use and stuff. I'm not going to just
and I bless that for you too. I'm like, you can run an ad yourself and keep all the money. I've said that since the beginning, right? Like if you want to contact him and give him $50 to run an ad during the stream, he can do that. I totally, like, even on my channel, I don't care. He can totally do that. I want him to get paid because I don't begrudge anybody making money to help themselves move along. These are personal decisions I make.
And I believe that it's not taking away from you or the channel or anything like that either. And if it were, I would, we have the relationship where we could have that sort of conversation and figure something out that's amenable for the both of us. And I feel that way about any sort of like sponsorship too. Yeah. Like I wouldn't do anything where you have to say this. If they did say this, I would have to agree with what I'm saying before I would be okay with that and stuff. Like And
if we struggle, we may have a sponsor. We may have a channel sponsor. I'm not ruling that out by saying this. Like at some point there may be a channel sponsor, but the things that I will promise you is if it does happen, I'm not going to let them control what I say. So it's not going to be a contract. It's going to be a handshake. And if they screw me on the money, that sucks. I'm going to have to, lawyer up or whatever, but I'm not doing the whole contract thing because I won't let them control what we're saying. And it will always be a product or something that I've used myself and that I want to use. Not something they just sent me and I tried once. It's got to be something that I actually enjoy and that I see value in. Otherwise, I'm not taking it. If they can meet those two criteria, then at some point we may actually have a sponsor. Because to be honest, I mean, you can't live on like a couple $100s a month. You can't. Not where either one of us lives. So obviously at some point that may have to happen. But I will always try. You're not going to see Raid Shadow Legends. You're not going to see fucking Raycon earbuds. You're not going to see anything that we wouldn't buy and use ourselves.
Yeah, it'd be Kinesis. It would be, Bear Dynamics. It'd be Audio Technica.
We have a million things that we use that we bought with our own money that are companies that we could honestly promote, promote them.
That I do anyway. Yeah. People ask, hey, are those the DT 770s? Yeah, man, they're great. I paid like $110 for these used from Amazon because, it's like an open box thing or whatever. And, I love them. I'm no audiophile. I'm not a fucking decibel nerd by any means, but these are hands down the best headphones that I've had. I've had cheeseball Razer Cocarichuses that were shit. I fucking hated them. The bass
Razer's super hit and miss, man. Razer makes one of my favorite headphones ever made and one of the shittiest ones I've overpriced that I've ever had. So,
but I love their mouse. I used their keyboard till it fucking fell apart. Razer makes some good products, right?
That's actually a secret. A lot of people have asked me that I've given them. I don't think I've ever really said it publicly. But if you contact a company, if you're looking for sponsorship, now again, if you contact a company and you have no viewers, they're just going to ignore you.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. It's a business. You can't just expect, you gave the other YouTuber products, I should get products for free. No, the only time that they give a YouTuber a product is when they know they're going to make more money in the end by giving them that product than the product itself. That's literally business. That's how it works. But here's the thing. If you have a small channel, but you use something like religiously in all your content that you love, like do an inventory of that stuff, reach out to those companies. Be like, dude, I use your 3D printer in like every one of my videos. I literally bought this 3D printer. That's how I started my relationship with Ultimaker when they sent me every other printer they made up to the Ultimaker 3 Extended, was because I started out by buying their $3,500 printer and I did every mod to it and was printing stuff and making tons of content. And they were like, well, even though it's a smaller audience, that's a channel that actually has an entire history of using our stuff with no sponsorship. So that's a good trick that I don't see a lot of people really like talking about is don't reach out to a company to get something that's like brand super new and shiny that you've never used before. Figure out what you use in your daily life and what products you absolutely love that you've already produced content for. And think about approaching those companies or putting a little bug in their ear and be like, hey, would you guys want to do something? Because I already use your stuff. I'm already into it. That actually makes your audience like the perfect target without you having to lie about anything or having to hold yourself to any kind of a standard. And that way you both get something out of it and you're not having to compromise yourself. And that's how I've always done it. Like when I reach out to a company, it's like I don't reach out to them for like rando fucking products that I think are going to suck just because they have a really good affiliate payout. I reach out to companies I already use, like Nord. I used them for 2 years, and I was like, you know what? I see all these other YouTubers doing advertisements for Nords. I'm not going to do an advertisement for Nord. I'm going to get their affiliate link, and then when people ask me about VPNs and what I use, I can give them that link, which is what I would have given them anyways. And now I can make something off it if they buy it. So that's the way I prefer to do it. So if you're looking for like a model and you're confused around it, that's something you could try yourself that I think would be really successful.
Yeah, that's actually, and then actually this was more, I think, directed directly at me, but Leslie Monroe had a really good idea. He says, crowdfund a build kit, make a list of kit you'd like to review, make a vid about why crowdfund and do the build. That's a good idea. Crowdfunding actually works really well for stuff like that. I had a little goal bar on my Twitch channel at one point, like, hey, help fund the next build, or at least help me buy the next case, because like I got weird parts that like I can just, they don't have to really work for the building part. You know, it could be all fake parts really, because I like a lot of people when I'm building, they're like, oh man, Houston's the Bob Ross of PC building. And I really, just a few days ago, I really latched onto that concept of like, I really should kind of focus it that way, you know?
Yeah.
Like that real chill sort of like, all right, hey, and then, you know, welcome to you know, the joy of PC building with AuxxZillary. And
today, like the Bob Ross thing, like, oh, and this is a nice little GPU over here. Oh, that's some happy little memory. That would be hilarious, dude.
I think it'd be good. And it's not, it wouldn't be like a forced character. I could still be a lot of myself in this. And
no, you've always had a really chill, relaxing voice. Like you just have one of those voices where it's like you just sit down and just be like don't take this the wrong way, but you got like that camp counselor vibe. Like the dude that anybody can just sit down and have a chat with. Like you're just completely non-threatening. Your voice is kind of smooth. You know, you got that radio voice going on. You know, I've always loved that. Oh, dude, I didn't realize. Holy crap, it's 1:24. I'm sorry for keeping you too late. We got to wrap up. But here we got some super chats. Let's get through these first if you got a couple minutes. We got to thank the people that are actually helping us survive since we're not doing the ad thing as much. Let's see. Zam, thank you for the $10 super chat. He said off topic, but what do you think about the Oculus fragmenting VR, making Facebook account required to use Oculus and can't crossplay Beat Saber with Steam users? Honestly, I didn't really know much about the whole not being able to crossplay with Steam users. I think that's pretty anus. I do understand why they do it though, because running Beat Saber on the Quest is a special version built to run on the Quest, whereas the Steam version is more graphically intense and higher frame rate. So by intermixing the players, you could theoretically have players that are better on PC with the higher frame rates and better headsets and stuff, whereas with the Quest, it might not be as competitive because of the perceived lower frame rate and stuff. I don't really know. It could also play with the timings. With them multiplaying together, the timings could be thrown off by the subtle changes between the versions too. So I don't know if that's the reason. I'm just saying that as a developer, I know those are things that can crop up that also prevent interoperability between consoles and PC gamers sometimes. As far as making a Facebook account being required for the Oculus, I think that's the dumbest fucking thing ever. And I hate that Facebook did that, but at the same time, that's how you can get a $299 headset that rivals a $1,200 headset. Actually, it blows the $1,200 headset literally out of the water, quite frankly. I use my Quest 2 way more than I use my Valve Index. And they made a pretty much perfect device. And so they're forcing you to use Facebook so that they can recoup the revenue for selling it to you for $299 instead of what it should be priced at, which is $600 or $700. So the way it's subsidized, it's basically subsidized. So you're not going to fix that. However, there are people that have figured out how to disable it. It's just, it's a heavy cost. Like if you disable it, you might as well be using it as just a corded headset to your computer at that point. And then it said, let's see, hold on. What else? And the fragmenting VR stuff. But I will tell you this, Oculus is the top used headset on Steam. The Quest 2 is number 1 and the Quest 1 is number 2 on the list. That's above the Valve Index, their own in-house headset for Steam. The HTC Vive, HTC Vive Pro, Cosmos, HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift S, not necessarily in that order, but think about it. Every one of those headsets that came before it and after it are all well beneath the Quest 2 at the bottom. And you want to know why? Because of the price and the accessibility. The Quest can play the Oculus games, it can play the Steam games, the Windows VR games, and it can do it all wireless with virtual desktop over a 5G or Wi-Fi 6 network. Which means now you have a wireless HMD where everything else has to be wired. Everything else has to just play Steam. It doesn't play the Oculus games, the Oculus exclusives that run in headset on the hardware in the headset. Those are specifically optimized and built for the headset, which means you're not playing those games on Steam, which means the Oculus is the only headset you can buy that allows you to play 100% of all VR games without having to dick about too much and do it wirelessly, which is a huge feat. Like if you try it, the lag is so little that you don't even notice. It doesn't make you sick or anything. And I tried it in a couple of games. I played Beat Saber on Expert with wireless, and I didn't do any worse than I did wired. So that's why Oculus is kicking ass, and that's why they can afford to have that Facebook connection, and they're still outselling everybody else, is because no matter how much people complain about the integration with Facebook, it's still, for $299, they're willing to take in the butt. And they do. They do. Let's see here, Bobby Kendall, but just TLDR there. I don't like the fact that the headset is married to the platform, just because, you know, platforms can go away and your hardware would be useless. But the truth is that's kind of the way everything's going now. I mean, your fucking smart TV won't even work. Like if the App Store dies on it, it's like, that's a new norm that I don't agree with and I don't like, but we just have to get used to it. Bobby Kendall, thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, thanks for answering my question on Twitter a few days ago. Hope you and AuxxZillary have a great weekend. Well, thank you, sir. I plan on having a fantastic weekend. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm driving these cards to their new owner and going visiting the Poor People Weta Workshop. Oh, actually, wait. Are you working tomorrow by chance? Or wait, they're closed on the weekends, right? Is Puget closed? Do weekends. So is Puget actually open though, or are they closed on the weekends? No, we don't do work on weekends. Okay, because I'm literally going to be right across the street from Puget tomorrow. Literally right across the street.
Right on. Yeah. Oh, you're going to be at what are the guys who make those models?
Level 52. Cool. That's it. So level 52s who bought these two graphics cards. So I'm gonna drive him over and deliver them tomorrow because he wants to give me a tour of his studio. Oh, nice. And he's fully vaccinated. And they're closed that day. So he's gonna take me in and give me the tour. I'll be wearing a mask still. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to get out of the house. I haven't driven my car in like 3 weeks now. So nice. So that's pretty exciting. I may even do a jitter for Patreon in the car while I'm driving over there because I think that's cool. I like doing the videos while I'm driving. Yeah, people are like, that's dangerous. I don't look at the phone, guys. It's like talking to somebody and it keeps me alert. Not any more dangerous than fucking with your radio. Yeah, no, and the truth is I'm actually a much better driver when I'm talking. GPS. What's that? Or looking at your GPS. That's true. Like people would get on me about live streaming and like, how can you pay attention to chat and blah, blah. It's because I glance and I can read fast. Exactly. Oh, somebody actually posted the stats, by the way. The Quest 2 has 22.9% of every headset on Steam. We're talking about the platform that it's supported by every other headset that like Quest is on the other side of the fence, right? Or Oculus, I should say. 22.9%, and the Rift S has 21.6%. Oh, the OG Vive has 13%. Okay, I was getting them confused. Okay. The Rift S is the one. But that means over 50% of the entire VR market is on Steam, specifically, which isn't an Oculus product, is owned by Oculus. That should be a damn eye-opener to how good of a headset it is. And people are like, oh, no, I way like the Valve Index way more. It's like, yeah, it's got a better field of view, but it's also got way more screen door. It's a lot blurrier, and it's not as sharp. Like the Quest 2 is like ridiculously sharp. Like you can use virtual desktop with like 50-inch simulated screens or 60-inch simulated screens and actually code and do stuff with text. Try doing that with an HTC Vive. You will literally, your eyeballs will fall out of your head. And there's like no eye strain, which I love. Leslie Monroe, thank you the £5, said, hope you guys are good. What 3D printer would you recommend as a first printer? I get this question a lot. It depends on what you want to do, but honestly, there's one answer that covers 99% of people, and that is a Creality CR10. Creality CR10, you find them, I think they're $250, $299. You throw it together yourself. It's an incredibly easy build. It's a super reliable printer, and it just works. Like, honestly, it's got a huge build volume too. Like, so I would say the Creality would be my first pick if I was just looking for like a good first printer to play around with and I wasn't afraid to put some stuff together. But if you're afraid to put stuff together and you want something that just like literally just comes out of the box and it's just the most, stable workhorse ever, go buy yourself like a used Ultimaker 2 Plus. An Ultimaker 2 Plus, you can probably find a used one for somewhere in probably the $800 to $1,200 price range for a used one. Literally, you plug them in, you put in the memory card, you say go, and everything always works on them like 100%. They're not particularly perfect at anything, but they're just like the most average stable printer that I've ever used out of all the printers I've ever used. It's bizarre, but but they cost a premium. That's why I'd never buy one new. They're way too expensive now. John O'Rourke. Oh, sorry. There's one other thing. Sorry, Leslie. I just remembered. That's if you want FDM printing. It turns out SLA printing, which is even way higher resolution, is now super cost effective. So for $200, you can buy an SLA 3D printer that will print at 10 micron with resin that costs $30 a liter. So it's a little bit more expensive than like a kilogram of filament for the volume that you can print, but the quality of the print is insane. So if you're going for detail in small things, go SLA. If you're going for larger things and you want strength and more material diversity, go with FDM.
Right.
So Creality, CR10 if you want to print the big strong stuff, and if you want to print like little action figures and super detailed stuff with like hair and like scratches on the face, and you want that level of detail, then go SLA. And for that you can get oh god, what's it called, Elegoo Mars. I think it's like $250, and they're super solid. Everybody's using them right now. The resin's super cost effective. It's not like the forum days back where it was like $150 to $250 a liter for resin and $4,500 for the printer. It's like now it's $200 for the printer and like $30 a liter. And a lot of people still associate SLA with insanely expensive. So a lot of people just aren't even considering it because they just assume it's too expensive. It's not. It's very cheap now.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yep. John O'Rourke, thank you for the $2. He said Ion TV has very high standards on sponsored stuff. What is Ion TV? Do you know?
Probably YouTube channel.
Okay, I've never heard of it. Eric Chug, thank you for the $9.99, and happy to support. We really do appreciate it, and thank you guys so much today. The super chat support today is the highest it's been in a very, very long time, and we want to take a moment to thank you guys for that. Yeah, Aux and I split everything right down the middle on the super chats for everything that we get for every one of these Tech Talk streams. And so it really does help. And AuxxZillary uses that money to like further his PC building stuff that he wants to do. And he's obviously damn fine at it. That computer right there is the man's good work. And I got many of others' computers. I've never had a problem with anything that guy's laid hands on. So
I think 3 of your 5 are built by me.
Easily. Yeah. And I think, and I even think like one of them, or no, more than one of them that you didn't build, you did work on afterwards, like significant work upgrades.
I think Nick upgraded William.
Yep, and Oscar, the system that Oscar built, which one was it? Was that William PC that Oscar built? I think it was.
Yeah, William was built by Oscar originally.
Yeah, you did the GPU upgrades in that after the fact. I brought it in for the GPUs.
Yeah, and I know Nick did one of yours too.
Yep, and then you built that one. You built the server, right? You built the crypto server.
I built the 1060 thing.
Which that thing's running 24/7, dude, like freaking clockwork.
And then I built your SG10.
Yep.
The HTPC.
Yep. And that's my main HTPC that I do 90% of my gaming on in the bedroom. Dude. So, Sir Deluxe.
More super chats.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. See, this is what they do. And then you can't leave, right? But unfortunately, we do have to leave because AuxxZillary, I have an agreement with him that I only keep him for 3 hours. So he's already 35 minutes over his time.
My lady's keeping the nieces in law busy. She's not even here, so I'm not in trouble.
Oh, really? You're not in trouble? Okay, if somebody wants to like super chat $500 more, we'll start taking our clothes off. No,
I mean, I have to pee really bad though, so do you kind of want to wrap it up?
Oh my god, no, we will. Carl, thank you for the $5 and keep up the good work, guys. C Mopar, thank you for the $5. Zam, thank you for the $5. Oh my god, everybody's coming in now and just throwing it, making us dance. Seriously though, guys, we do have to start wrapping up, but I will end with saying that you can find us both doing our individual streams that we do throughout the week over on Twitch. So you can find those links down in the video description, along with David Hewlett. He does the Tech Banditry, which is his live stream that he does with gaming and projects and science and magic. He does everything. He's a nerd. It's freaking Dr. Rodney McKay from Stargate Atlantis. So of course he's going to be, and he's literally like that guy in real life, except for not quite as edgy, but pretty damn close when he wants to be, when he's feeling sassy. So all of our respective streams, all of our social networks, we're all really active on Twitter. I'd say Twitter is probably our primary social network that we all use more than anything else, whether you love it or hate it. But all the links to everything can be found in that video description. So take a second and go mine around down there and throw a couple of follows so you guys can see what's going on. Just fair warning, on Twitch, I go way, way harder than I do here. My YouTube channel has always been some place where I kind of keep it. Now, I won't say like professional, but I do censor myself a little here. Just don't be too shocked if you come over to Twitch. I don't censor myself at all. I've had some people have some shell shock from finding me over there. I won't say I'm a completely different person, but I do go a lot harder on Twitch. So just fair warning, if you're going to come over there, just expect that to happen. And on Twitter, I'm the same way. On Twitter, it's not my business. People are like, this is your brand, you shouldn't say those things. No, it's not. And Barnacules Nerdgasm is me, and I'm Barnacules Nerdgasm. Always have been. It started as a hobby. It'll end as a hobby. It's just somehow I can pay the bills doing it. So I keep so I don't have to go to a job before I do this. And I love that for it. And that's you guys all the way. Love your faces. Have a wonderful day. And we'll see you next Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, here on Barnacules Nerdgasm on YouTube. Peace out. Now I gotta click this end stream, then click the end button, and then wait for it to say the end button.